Hey guys, and welcome to Nashville for Nobodies. I am your host, Bobby Gordon, along with my beautiful host that I forgot to introduce last episode, and I am so sorry I was not medicated.
I'm not holding a grudge or anything. Like
you came in, you're like, oh, by the way, I'm Brian. I am here also.
I am seething in my seat. No, I'm kidding. I'm Brian Morelli. What's up? I'm so excited for our guest today. When I heard that he was coming in, we always have great conversations, and I love playing with the guy. Kenny Walker, thanks for coming in, man.
Ooh, thank you guys for having me. Is this a good little distance from the mic?
Oh, yeah, you sound amazing.
Y'all's setup has gotten so much more fancy since the last time I was here, you know?
That happens when you're as prestigious as this podcast has become over the years.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I definitely feel honored. You know, I do. I'm like, dang, this is a nice spot, you know? Like,
I mean, you should. No, seriously, though, thank you for jumping in last minute.
Of course.
We had a guest plan, and she got sick last minute, so I got a 911 text yesterday like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm super sick. I've got the thing that's going around. I'm like, hope it doesn't last a month like it has been with a lot of other people. So, and like you were like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
I needed to be up anyways. I got to practice after this. So this is going to make sure I'm up and awake. I'm just going to go right from here to the practice. So.
Yeah, you'll feel good. You'll have everything all mentally prepared.
Exactly.
I guess for context, to anybody listening, we are currently about 2 weeks into Something Is Going Around, part of Broadway sickness, where like, oh yeah, the first wave of people getting sick, they're pretty much better now.
Yeah.
There's about to be a second wave.
Oh man.
I was part of the first wave.
Yeah.
My friends are in it right now, and I feel terrible for them. Like,
dude, yeah, that's like just another hazard of the job, I guess.
Yeah.
When working down there, just germs everywhere. You know?
Oh yeah, it's worse than kindergarten.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People definitely act like they're in kindergarten down there because they're drunk all the time. But, you know. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. At least I hope it's because they're drunk. Some of them, not 100% sure.
Yeah, those people just need help.
Right.
They're just doing the uncovered cough that toddlers do. Like,
oh, I know. Yeah, just a string. You know. Oh,
I tell you what, say what you will about the COVID mask situation, but not getting breathed on all the time was fantastic.
You know what? You ain't wrong. So
I definitely didn't hate it.
Yeah. I definitely wore my mask, when I could. It did, like at that time, I think it was a bus. Yeah, I was still busting tables at Rippy's and coming back from that. And just having to work with it kind of sucked from that every now and then. I'd have to go and like go somewhere and just like breathe for a little bit. But I mean, like you said, it definitely helps. Quit spreading stuff.
The talking to people part, like I would wear a mask just for that.
Oh yeah,
no other reason. Just
dude. Oh yeah, and servers loved it because they didn't have to smile. They could just like look at people and just be like, "What do you want?" So,
and then you have that like 6 months period after where it's like you have to learn how to look like a human again.
You can't.
Like, why are you mad at me? Oh, I'm not. I just haven't had to smile in 6 months.
Yeah, you can't have you having that RBF, walking around. So.
I did have to relearn how my face is. I know.
Yeah, dude.
That was a learning process, a relearning process, a reintegration process. I think I had a few of those, and that was definitely one of them.
Turns out I am more attractive with a mask on.
Lies. Fake news. Oh, man. Bobby's handsome. So.
I don't know about handsome. Definitely adorable. I don't know about handsome.
I love that beanie that you're rocking, bro.
Man, it's so comfy. And like my hair's long now, but I hate getting a haircut.
Yeah.
And so I did an undercut, and now the undercut's all growing out and gross. And so it's like, no, this is beanie situation until I get back to get it fixed up.
Dude, you're rocking it. It's good stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I've been leaning into the purple lately.
Yeah.
Purple seems to be a good color for me.
It
so
is.
I like it.
It's color of royalty. So.
Do you know purple's not a real color?
What?
There's no wavelength for purple. Our brain interprets like the opposite of green as purple, but there's no wavelength there.
Really? Huh. Interesting.
I spend way too much time online.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Neil deGrasse Tyson's interpretation of this.
I think that might be where I got the information.
I wouldn't be surprised. This sounds like something he would discover. So,
all right, real question. Scrolling through TikTok, all of the Neil videos. Are some of those AI?
Oh,
Because they definitely, like, I
100%.
can't tell because he talks like that
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Oh,
And I'm
it's
like,
very characteristic.
I can't tell if this is him or AI because they sound the same.
I know. It's such a crazy question we have to ask now. Like, is this video actually real? You know, the fact that
Right?
like AI has come out and stuff. And I definitely wouldn't, be surprised at all if like
Mhm.
half of them were, so.
And the crazy thing there is because of the way our brains work, like,
Uh-huh.
we'll see 6 fingers, but our brain will
Mhm.
be like, "No, it should be 5."
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's what we'll
Mhm.
see.
Yep, and there'll be something. Usually, I feel like AI too is a good test of like how much we actually pay attention because
Mhm.
there are sometimes I'll see videos and it looks like flawless.
Yeah.
But then the mannerisms of the characters or whatever, very foreign. And
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
like, no. Or they'll like just be talking and be like blah 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 blah. And then just out of nowhere just like
Right?
smile and just be weird, like, oh no, that's fake, so.
Or those that you'll watch a video like 9 times and swear up and down it's real, and then
Yeah,
somebody will point something out, and then you'll be like, "Oh, no, everything's fake. I see it
exactly.
all now."
Yeah.
Exactly. Dude, I was playing Kid Rocks, a 6 to 10 this past Friday, and there was these like 20-year-olds, like 20, like maybe like early 20s, these girls, they came out with a digital camera. I was like, why don't you just use your phone? She's like, oh, it's just so retro. We really like the cameras. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, but I think that's gonna come back. I think
It is.
more of that retro
Oh,
tech is
yeah.
gonna come back because of AI.
So
You know.
my girlfriend's 16-year-old
Mm-hmm.
gave us her Christmas list, and on it was like this super dinky, cheap digital camera.
Wow.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"You understand your iPhone has a camera that's 1,000 times better than this."
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, "Yeah, I know, but this is so cool."
Yeah.
I was like, "It's
Yeah.
literally the opposite of cool. It is
Yeah,
less
yeah.
cool."
Well, for us, it was. By the time the iPhone came out and they're like,
Right?
oh, it takes pictures better than most cameras, like, we were like, oh, yeah. But
I just don't wanna carry another thing.
yeah, I know. It would seem like something you would take on a vacation, though.
Mhm.
Like an extra.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would just like, unless, you were just into that kind of thing and you wanted to carry an extra camera around. But for vacation, it's kind of like, back in like the 90s, whenever, or like, I guess for me, early 2000s, like going on like church camp or something. I
Mhm.
would bring a little disposable camera
Yeah.
and just,
Mhm.
just like bring it around.
And
Camp.
that's
Yeah.
coming back too. That's big at weddings,
Yeah,
is giving
yeah.
everybody a disposable camera to take pictures.
Yeah, for real.
Like, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yep. Yep.
When we were out with Sean Tobin, we each had one.
Yeah.
We went with a
Right.
disposable camera, so we came back, got them developed. I mean, really, it was, and it's cool because you can't beat how it looks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll say that
Mhm.
Right.
about Polaroids. really, I'm
Yeah.
such a huge fan of them. And then also, we got the digital upload also on
Yeah.
a Dropbox, so
Yep.
we can upload them as they are as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, happy to have brought them because you can't really just you can't beat that look.
Oh,
Mhm.
for
I'm not a fan of the retro filters that
Mhm.
the modern phones have right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
Where some of
yeah.
the social media platforms have their own filters. The retro ones, the VHS ones, like
Yeah.
they're not they're
Mhm.
not it. And I don't,
Yeah, yeah.
and I have no better way of saying that. I've had this thought for like about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I have no better way of articulating it of that's just not what it looks like. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But those handheld cameras are coming back though.
Yeah,
The digital, yeah. So
I love
uh,
that. That's
yeah.
good stuff.
And I mean, that's the appeal of vinyl too. Like, it's got that little bit of noise, that
Yep.
little bit of warmth, that those imperfections that if you add them, then you're just messing up what you've done. But if it's
Yeah, yeah.
natural, then it's part of the product.
Exactly, exactly.
And it's got its own appeal.
Yeah, I think it's like I mean, it's like antique
Mhm.
technology is what it is.
Mhm.
It's like, and I think it's cool. It's cool to see like younger generations appreciate it. Because you would think with something like this, like they would never appreciate it, but the fact that they picked it up or found it online, and was like, oh, this is cool. Like I love that there's that fascination because you never know. Like I mean, it's just like a window into the past for them, and so
Yeah.
they'll talk to their parents or their aunts and uncles and like ask them like what was it like and everything or how do they work it, and they'll learn a lot from it. So I'm very pro. I'm pro these youngsters picking up old technology and be like, oh, being fascinated with it.
As a video game enthusiast, that's got the same kind of effect too.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
generations now are really getting into retro games, and it's like,
Mhm.
Mario's freaking hard, dude.
Oh my gosh, yep. Like the little I don't play as much games now, but my algorithm still puts a lot of game content in there, and it'll show a bunch of like custom levels of Mario,
Mhm.
and they're just like impossible
Yeah.
to beat. Like if I was a big, but you just see these kids just there's no ground. It's just like they're just hopping from like
Uh-huh.
shell on one shell to another and doing all these platforms. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And it's like
And
a whole line of gaming. I'm not sure what you would call that, but it's a whole genre of games that
yeah.
people love. You know?
And I've seen a lot of those videos, and it's like, I
Mm.
didn't even know you could freaking do that.
Yeah.
I have played every
Yeah.
Mario game ever
Hmm.
and, like, thought I was something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh man, it's so funny. I think it's great. I liked that, and I mean, I know we're on a little game topic right now, but like what was it, the Dark Souls or
Oh,
whatever?
yeah.
People, what fascinated me about that, because I never played it, but from the commentary of what people were saying was people enjoy it because it's hard.
Mhm.
And it's like you have to be like almost like a masochist to enjoy it,
You really
you know?
do.
But I think that it shows you something about the human psyche. Is like there is something about the challenge that humans are infatuated with, you know? It's like
Mhm.
on our face, on the surface, we're, oh, I just want things to be easy. I don't want challenge. I just want to go with, but really, but when you have a whole generation of kids that like they're searching for a game that actually makes them try and
Yeah.
actually gives them stakes. And if you die here, then you have to start, 20, 30 minutes back or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like that they want to feel that. They want to
Mhm.
feel those stakes and stuff. I'm like, well, it's a very human thing. It's a survival thing. I think with humans, it's like we've been like like we have such a comfortable
Mhm.
life now, especially here in America. And it's like, I think a lot of that unrest that a lot of people feel when it comes to like mental health and everything, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
having that challenge. They have all these emotions and all these feelings and nothing to focus on or throw it at.
Mhm.
It's like, outside of just having fun, which is
Yeah,
what
it's
fun
it's a
is.
world of instant gratification, and
Mhm.
that feels great, but it doesn't last. It's a quick
Exactly.
high. But
Exactly.
if you really have to work for it and then you
Mhm.
do it and you're like, "Holy shit, I'm amazing,"
Yeah,
that
yeah.
hit of dopamine lasts.
Yes.
Oh,
Like, you
man.
get that for a while,
Mhm.
and I mean, that's how our whole industry works. To pull
Yeah.
it back to music, like,
Oh, yeah.
it's the grind that gets you through the grind.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
those little moves forward that it's like,
Uh-huh.
"Okay, I just went from playing the dive bar to the nicer bar. We're
Mhm.
really moving."
Yep, yep, yep.
And I think kind of switching gears into Broadway, I think that's what kills a lot of Broadway artists
Mhm.
is you can be doing fantastic on Broadway, but there is no feeling of moving, no
Oh, yeah.
progression.
I
It's
see
Mhm.
just
that.
your only progression is, oh, well, I have 9 gigs this week instead of 7, so I'm
Yep.
doing better.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it feels like you're just doing more.
Yeah, it is, like, and I've definitely worked with musicians in the past. Like, I've worked with a bunch of musicians, and it's cool, especially like what's cool working with you guys in particular, aside the fact that you're all great at what you do,
No.
it's cool that you have stuff like this going on outside of that,
Hmm.
Like you're building something out of it. And I feel like anybody that has been here for a long time, they'll tell you it's like you need to have a long-term plan. If
Oh,
your
yeah.
plan is just I'm just gonna go down there and make money, like, you'll definitely do it. It's definitely achievable, but you're gonna want more. It's gonna take so much out of you, and like, and I was fortunate enough, like, I kind of just came in and saw what it had to offer, and I, as a player, I spent, my earlier times out here just as a player and transitioning all that information and what I've learned to being a front person. It is, like you said, it's it's you move up, but things do get harder,
Hmm.
and things are, and that's something as a front man, I mean, especially this year, it's like I've, you know, had to struggle with making that transition of just showing up to a gig and just doing the thing versus, hey, you got to pick up the check at the end of the night. Hey,
Yeah.
you got to count these tips. Hey, you got to make sure that you're there enough, that you didn't have too good of a time to get the guys home. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
you got, and it's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of responsibility, and even outside of that, like being an artist, it's like you got to think about, PR. You got to think about like how are you going to make more opportunities for you and your group?
Hmm.
And like you don't just show up and play and have fun.
Right.
Like outside of you got to think about a whole bunch of other stuff, recording, like recording, PR, management, booking other shows, booking showcases, all this stuff. As an artist, if you don't have a manager, that's all on you.
Oh,
Like you
yeah.
got to think
Dang.
about that if you're going to like grow. And it's been a challenge for me. I've done good in a lot of areas and I've not done not so good in some areas, and I'm definitely trying to grow though, and it's sobering sometimes because sometimes you will have that thrown in your face,
Mhm.
but it's good. I think that the challenge of that, like you said, I mean, aside from just like the dopamine hit of doing something hard and actually getting better at it,
Mhm.
it's like it changes you as a person. It demands more of you as a person. It demands a certain level of integrity and like honesty with yourself. Like, are you
Yeah.
really doing right, not only by yourself, but by these people? Like, what do you like? How are you going to make it up to them? Like, all these things, like it's a lot, and it's a weight that probably the first weight in my life that I'm like, I need to carry this. I need to, man. Like all the stuff I've gotten out of it, it's, been great and awesome. And I want to keep doing it, so, but it's going to get harder.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So I have a 17-year-old,
oh, yeah.
and me and her mom are polar opposite as
Mhm.
how we view life.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
wants she wants her daughter to go to college and get a
Mhm.
safe career and make
Mhm.
decent money and be secure and blah
Mhm.
blah blah. And I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Mhm.
And she doesn't want to do that. She wants to be an artist.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, if you want to do art, if you want to sell your art and make that your living, you absolutely can,
Mhm.
but you have to do it. Like
Yeah.
you can't keep it as a hobby mentality and be
Yeah.
successful at it. You got to treat it like a job, and not
Yep.
just a job, like full
Yep.
on building from nothing job. And so I gave her a task. I was like, all right, what do you need to work on? And she was like, I need to be better at drawing faces. I suck at drawing faces. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, set a goal, like draw 1,000 faces in a month.
Yeah, that's great, dude.
And she's like, that's a lot. Can we do 100? I was like, you can do whatever number you want,
Mhm.
but that's going to determine how far you get. Because if
Uh-huh.
you won't do 1,000, Jim across the street will, and he's going to sell his art.
Mhm.
And so we broke it down, and it was 33 faces a day.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's like,
Whew, that's good
that,
stuff.
and she's like, that doesn't sound as bad. I was like, no, it doesn't. If you do it like that, if you
Mhm.
plan it out, if you make sure you're grinding a bit every day, you're doing something to improve
Yep.
every day, and then if you find out you fail, make it a fail forward opportunity. Like
Mhm.
if you try this, PR campaign
Mhm.
and it does nothing, okay, well, reevaluate. Don't do that again,
Exactly.
and see what you can change and manipulate, and
Mhm.
so that next time it's different and you can learn more. It's all a learn. Like
100%.
you spend a lot of money on advertising or something and it falls through and you don't get anything out of it.
Mhm.
You bought a course in how to
Yeah.
do that.
That's a very good way to look
Yeah.
at it.
And so next
Yes.
time that money's going to go toward
Yeah,
actually getting something,
exactly. Instagram ads.
right?
Yeah, which honestly, I feel, I don't know, I feel like that'd be a pretty interesting experiment. It's like you could spend X amount of dollars on this PR firm,
Mhm.
or the same amount on social media ads.
Mhm.
And what's the
See the difference,
Yeah.
see what you
Yeah.
can learn.
So I've thought about that as well. But like, yeah, like you said, like, and I used to. That's why when you were explaining, about giving your daughter guidance, like you need to do this amount of work every day. I used to think, like it was kind of corny when people would like say like it's not just art, it's a lifestyle. And the more I get into it, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I literally am on the road like 3
Yeah.
times a month, and like I'm living like there's so many country songs about being a rolling stone or a tumbleweed and everything. I'm like, that's my life, Like,
Yeah.
it is like I never, and I love it. I feel like I was genuinely built for it. Like I
Mhm.
could get 2 hours of sleep knowing I got to drive 8 hours from the day after, and I'm like, I'm down. Like I don't,
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
gonna make it happen. I don't feel overwhelmed at all doing it, and it's like, well, not at that moment, but no, it is like it is, and the truth is too, like Bobby, it's like you have to have that attitude with anything you do.
Yeah.
Art is just way more like you're not gonna make anything on the front end.
Right.
It
Mhm.
really is just about the effort that you put into whatever it is. But if you took that mentality and took it into whatever college course you wanted to go
Oh,
into and
absolutely.
everything,
Yeah.
you'd probably be 1,000 times more successful.
You're gonna
So.
get I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
You're gonna get tired, but if it kills the love for you, that's a
Mhm.
bigger thing to look at.
Exactly.
And so
exactly.
I've seen that with some peers, I've seen that with some friends and people that I care about, people that are great musicians, but it looks like something changed.
Yeah,
It's less than I'm sorry, it's more than, oh, I'm too tired for this opener today.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
something deeper there. And so it's like has it affected your artistic identity? Because I've seen that happen with some friends also.
Yeah.
One guy, I think he might be the best guitarist I've ever met. He doesn't live here, he's back home, but he had something. He was in a tribute band. I'm going to paraphrase this and like really shorten it.
Yeah.
And he had a conversation with me one day, and he was like, "This just isn't who I am." And we're trying to pinpoint what it is musically. Where is your identity these days? And he had to step away ultimately from music for a little bit, take all the realtor exams.
Yeah.
Find out that he hates that field to then get back into music and fall in love with it again. So I get stepping away from it, certainly. I can understand that too, sure, yeah. But, I've had some insane Broadway schedules for a bit, and it hasn't killed the love for me yet. I'm super thankful for that, but I'm also super fortunate because I'm in a spot where the 4 hours is up and I could pack my stuff and go. I'm not talking to whoever's booking us.
Yeah.
I'm not, all the stuff that a front does and all the things that you were saying before, Kenny, like I'm just checking this off the list of like, oh yeah, I'm privileged enough. I don't have to do that with people that I work with, Yeah. So it bears different responsibilities, certainly.
Yeah. It does. It does. And like, and being like aware of other people's responsibilities and making sure that they get their flowers too. The band that I have right now, one of them, the drummer, I used to work with at FGL House, like before I did music. And the guitar player I found on Facebook, and he's been one of the most loyal, members I've had. And I mean, those guys, like, what I love about them is, I mean, above everything else, they're consistent. Like we're already we get along well enough on the road, and like, like we're good enough hang. And they're very cerebral. Like the drummer's very like intelligent, and then the guitar player's he's got a lot of passion. And I've been waiting to get all that in a studio, which next week is when we're gonna start, recording these next little string of singles and getting those guys in there. And so I try to, make sure that those guys, like, yeah, I write the songs, but those guys really bring it to life, and like they're the tools that I use to kind of like bring all that together. And without them, it's hard to find. And you got to cater who that personnel is to what you're trying to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you have a lot of musicians that they're just the hired guns. They're just there for the gig or whatever. But I mean, if you're looking for someone long term, or you someone that likes your music, and they find it, it's like, yeah, lock in with those. So I do feel like between, my band and like I see other bands starting to form on Broadway, it's like there really is a lot of potential to where, I mean, Nashville, we're known for country music, and we've got, we've had, Paramore come out of here, Black Keys, Casia Elephant, Kings, like big rock names and stuff. I really think we've just scratched the surface.
Oh,
As far, like
absolutely.
if enough people down there, if enough artists have the vision, whatever they play, country, rock, R&B, whatever, if they have the vision and they get the right, like there's so much potential just running around down there, and it's like you find the right people, put them together, like there's no reason Nashville can't be like the number one place like to put out like for artists to come gather to,
Yeah.
because it is
Of
like,
any genre
yeah,
or
yeah.
mentality. Like
Oh,
it's
for real,
it's so diverse.
have y'all ever been to any like jam nights? Like anywhere, like Bourbon Street Blues or the Flamingo or anything?
I've done a handful, not in a while. I need to get back into it.
Dude, I haven't done it yet. I haven't cracked that seal, but like I need to actually go to one of those jam nights,
Right.
and I just feel like any music, like whatever you do, it just like makes you like it challenges you for one, and it makes you look a lot more legit. That you can just go hop into a room full of strangers, shake some hands. What song we're doing? And just go,
Oh yeah.
or just like what are the numbers, and that's it,
Yeah.
and then you just rock it for however long. So
Never heard it. Let's have fun.
exactly, man. Like
I was fortunate that that's how I learned to play music live. I would jump in, set in with my dad's band. It'd be a bunch of classic country stuff I had never heard.
oh,
And it'd be just, all right, we're going to play this song. Okay, cool. I'll figure it out and then find out I was wrong later.
yeah,
And it would always work, even if it was the wrong crew, the wrong feel, whatever, it would always work.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so if I can do that, I don't need to be afraid of that. And I think that's my biggest asset on Broadway. If somebody calls a song, I'll typically look at the bass player and be like, hey, anything I need to worry about.
Mhm.
And they'll be like,
Yeah.
there's some hits in the bridge, but super obvious. I'll cue you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everything else is straightforward. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid at all.
Mhm.
And if it falls flat, who cares?
Yeah.
Make it part of the show.
Exactly.
Fail forward.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, so much of like, you know, like it's like oh man, that's I love that you pointed that out because it's like a lot of okay, Victor. Here we go. So Victor Wooten, huge bass player. One of the things I've loved about like I used to when I first got into bass at like 18, I got really he knows. Our producer knows. So, but I got really heavy into him at 18. And just like looking not only like at his, bass playing like lessons or whatever, but just his philosophy on music. And he always had this thing where it's like, if you make a mistake on the fretboard, you're only a half step away from correcting it. So it's like, if you if you really, the reason I remember we were at a clinic at Sam Ash and Rivergate back when it was still open, and he was there with one of his buddies, and we were all just like taking notes and everything. And his buddy is like, I don't think Victor would mind me saying this, but he probably makes the most mistakes out of any musician I know. And we all laugh. Yeah. And Victor's like, but you know why you don't hear it? It's because every time I do make a mistake, I remember I'm a half step away from the right one.
Right.
And it's not about the mistake in the moment. It's about what you do right after that. And you can even make that mistake sound like it was on purpose or make it sound good, but it's really about just remembering. It's like mistakes are part of it. Like use them, like what you do after them will make sure that it'll, make that mistake make sense, So
no, one of my favorite bits of his is when he's going up the neck chromatically. He's like, is that the right note? Is that the right note? Is that the right note?
Yeah.
And after like the third or fourth note, it just all works. And it's like, because you make it feel good.
Exactly. It's about how you play it. So it's good stuff, man. I know he plays, or I don't know if I think some of the Wootens play Rudy's Jazz Room every now and then. I need to go check that out, dude.
Yeah.
I need to go, man.
I used to go all the time when they were at 3rd and Lindsley.
Ooh,
it was like every Wednesday night they were there. And
that's a great venue.
I started going before I moved to Nashville. I'd drive down the hour and a half from Paducah and come see him. And it was always just like one of the most musically communicative groups. Like the conversation they were having with body language, looks, and like, because nobody ever knew what was going on. It was the most unscripted, put together show you could possibly think of.
I love that.
And like, just that's everything I want in music. That freedom, that passion, that communication, that we're all doing something completely different together, and it's working so beautifully. That's the magic.
Oh, for real. Brian, you've played with J. Cole a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
You and I have had those gigs before.
Certainly, yeah.
Dude, my favorite part about playing those gigs is everyone is so experienced. And so we know a lot about like, that like kind of communication or whatever. And Jake's an amazing, amazing front person. But I love how I always tell bands like, or people when they ask me about it, I'm like, listen, my favorite thing about playing with someone like that, of that caliber, is everyone in the band is good enough to lead. They can all lead. They can do solos or whatever, but they're also good enough to follow. They know when to bring it down, when to quiet it up, when to not be as busy and everything. And I love that. Like, even before I was soloing, which, I was terrified. Like, that was a band that got me into soloing.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And I definitely stumbled a bunch. but I've gotten better since then. But yeah, just hanging out in the back, just sitting in the pocket, watching everyone do their thing. It just felt so much fun. It was so good. So
I'm his primary drummer right now.
Oh, you lucky dog.
So every show is, we're starting to have the consistent players, and you have the A team of guys, you have the B team of guys, only because, we just have them not as often, but they're great, that they can follow just as well. The one commonality is I have a talkback mic.
Yeah.
So for any of the stops, for any weird thing, I'll be able to give that cue throughout the show. And so we've had some first-time players do exceptionally well, partially because of that, and also because they're great players too. He's got a standard of quality, and that's really where it does shine. But he is an early guy that I have been playing with from here, like since the beginning. beginning or near the beginning of my playing on Broadway. So there's it's a tough show. It's a tough show for Broadway.
Jake knows what he wants.
Yeah.
And he's going to tell you exactly what he wants and expects you to deliver on that consistently.
And if you're like, for a sub, you can't just sleep through it.
No.
It's not just it's probably the standards.
And that's the thing is, like, if you are just kind of on autopilot, it really falls flat because he's telling you exactly what he is making sure to telegraph everything he wants you to do. And if you're missing it, it is your fault.
Right.
Eyes up. That's what he says. Eyes up. I love that.
My favorite thing about him is, in this town, you have a lot of people that are afraid to say the things that probably should be said. They'll rather than give you criticism and help you and let you know what the problem is, they'd rather just hire somebody else. It's less confrontational. I've gotten that a lot. Jake is not that guy. He will be like, hey, this is what you need. I'm going to go with somebody else, work on that, and come back to me.
Sure.
And he's the one that, like, really got me focused on my timing. He was like, you're a fantastic player. You push and pull the tempo bad. And I was like, I get that. I'm a passionate player. If I'm excited, I go fast. If I'm laying back and feeling it, I slow down. And so he got me to really focus on it. And I mean, it's a work in progress, but I've been working on it for the last couple of years and significantly better. And that's something I never would have paid attention to if he hadn't been like, I can't hire you because of this. I want to hire you, so fix it.
And I think too, like, I get the sentiment too, like, a lot of people, because it like, you know, we've talked about it last time I was on the podcast, like, you know, everyone, like, I always tell people, if you know your stuff and you're not a jerk, people like you, you're fine. And people kind of make, like, they're like, oh, I want people to like me or whatever. And I get that, because part of your work is built on that. But there is the point in which, you know, it's like, if you're not afraid to at least confront something, not be argumentative, but just like talk about it. Be like, what's the issue? Like, and you're open to getting that criticism, or even giving it in a way that's like not, you know, too aggressive or anything, but in a way you're trying to help them. That line of communication, that right there, that's gold. That's so much, like, because it's going to make you a better player. You know?
Absolutely.
And the more you can take that criticism or take direction when you're on stage or whatever, the more you can mold to whatever environment you need to be in, or like kind of just step up. Like, you'll grow more, and more opportunities will reveal themselves as a point of it, you know? Because, like, if you just go down there and never grow, or just play the same 200 songs forever, well, all you're gonna get out of it's just money, you know, and you're gonna be burnt out all the time, you know. But if you do grow, and people see that, or maybe the artist that you're meant to be with is out there somewhere, but you haven't met him yet because you haven't risen to where, like, oh, they need you, and then they scoop you up, you know. Next thing you know, you're on the private jet.
Must be present to win.
Exactly.
If you're not there, you can't take it.
For real. So it is like, and you know, I feel like that's one of the craziest, like, things about Broadway is there's like this natural environment to where it's like the only person getting in your way is you. Like, that's it. It's like, that's if you go down there, you see what they're trying to do, you're lending your services to people, and you're open-minded. You know, like, you're open-minded to you're like, yeah, let me know what I could do better, or like, let me know what other opportunities I should, like, don't go in there thinking, because that's, I mean, when I definitely was guilty of this growing up in a small town. It's like, looking at the industry from the outside, you're like, oh, some man in a suit just comes and sees your talent one day and just changes your life. That's not what it is for the vast majority of people.
It's
like,
not.
It's like people that actually get somewhere. It's them being honest with themselves and grinding and getting, you know, and taking the criticism, and sometimes giving the criticism, and like growing, you know. It's like, and you have to grow, and that growth becomes unavoidable at an extent, you know. Like,
so just the time and hours you're putting in, you're forced to grow.
Exactly. You don't need one man. You just need a couple of people with X amount of dollars to be like, hey, we can help you, you know, and then you can help us. We like what you're doing over here, like, blah, blah, blah. Let's give you this space, or let's give you this opportunity. And then y'all both, you know, of the years that you spent grinding and actually meeting other opportunities, you both benefit from it
Oh,
long term,
absolutely.
so.
It's the self-awareness to identify what you need to improve on,
Mhm.
and being honest with yourself in that way.
Yeah.
And if you're inside your own echo chamber
Mhm.
and somebody wants to give you constructive criticism to try to break that echo chamber, it's gonna
Yeah.
feel like an attack, but it's not. It's,
Yeah, yeah,
you
exactly.
want what's best
And that's something
ultimately.
I've had to, like, convince myself of because my bandmates, James and Leo James is my drummer, Leo's my guitar player. I mean, one of the things I respect about them is that they have told me, like, things that I've needed to work on and everything, and I will and that's while you like you said, other, band leaders or musicians, they just don't wanna do the confrontation. This is stuff that I need to know. Well, I can't say
Absolutely.
that anything that they have told me about, like, things I've done right or wrong have been bad. For one, because 'cause they're my friends, and they're not gonna lie to me. And, like, two, it's like you wanna be in that position. It's a lot of pressure. It
Yeah.
is. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of, like, you have to meet a certain expectation and stuff, but if you surround yourself with the right people that are also trying to grow with you and
Yeah.
stuff, like, that's a lot different than just a random person saying something or someone in the audience coming
Mhm.
up and trying to tell you how to do your job,
Right.
which is so funny. Like, that hasn't happened very often down there, but it's like, when it does, you're just like, alright. So, like, this is why I'm on the stage, man, and you're down there.
Yeah.
But
No, my
yeah.
my favorite and most like these moments really hit hard and it's
Mhm.
like, oh man, what am I even doing here?
Yeah.
But it's those when you play like the worst show you've played in a while, like you were
Mm.
just, it was a bad night, you were
Yeah.
off, couldn't get in, couldn't feel it, nothing worked right, hands weren't listening to, like, just a bad night.
Mhm.
And you get off the stage and somebody's like, man, you're the best I've seen since I've been here. I was like,
Yeah.
have you been here 12 seconds?
Exactly.
Because
You're just
what
like,
the hell
"Woo,
are you talking?
whew,"
Dude, the
feels like
guy
yeah.
playing buckets outside did better than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. That's great, yeah.
Yeah.
But that also
And
goes to show, like, you don't you don't have to look at it like you have to be the world's best player.
yeah, yeah.
You have to present the right vibe.
Mhm, mhm.
Some of the most successful bands on Broadway are not even close to the best players on Broadway,
Mhm.
but they're fun and
Oh,
they
yeah.
give the crowd the vibe they're looking for,
Ugh,
and then they
dude.
walk out with a pocket full of money.
I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many, like, gigs I've had with people that are just like that. They're like They they just know how to direct a party,
Mhm.
and they get up there and they do it, and man, like and you play with them versus someone that can sing so much better than them, but just stands there
Mhm.
and expects the audience just to give them just to heap praises on them, and when they don't get it, they get mad, and it's like, dude, like, how am I making more money with this
Right?
Yeah.
this other guy? But you respect it, man, because it's like I, you got to remember when you're on that stage it is the most beneficial for you and everybody else to think about the audience first.
Uh-huh.
It's like you are there for them. If that's your mindset, if you are on that stage being like, I'm of service to these people, you're going to get so much more out of them. Like obviously you want to maintain a certain level of integrity to the song or whatever, but sometimes you might be in an environment where, people want something different from you or like maybe you're playing a little too loud or something like that. But listen, if you're on that stage and you play to the room and you see the vibe, you see what they want
Mhm.
and you give it to them, even if it is a little uncomfortable for you at first, dude, it's gonna get easier because getting out of that comfort zone and like doing something different, the audience is gonna, once you see that audience react or like the moments, I love the moments where me and like Leo will just be like, dude, I couldn't hear myself. They were singing over
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
It's like that's a good moment. That's the moment you need to chase as a band. So
So crowd reading,
hmm
that's essential. That's an
hmm
essential skill. But like it can't be it, you can teach crowd reading, I
yeah.
guess, to an extent,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's so experience based.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
So how does a front learn how to scan and what to look for
Yeah, man.
and when? I mean, really,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
an opener is different from a closer
Oh,
in
yeah,
what
for
you're
real.
going to read for. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Well, and it's also too like I like that Broadway. It does feel like it's a proving ground more than anything else for that kind of thing because your audience is pretty much baked in because everyone that goes there, they know they're gonna hear top 40 hits or whatever. And so like you can learn so much from having a room full of people. and that way when you go and do your original stuff and maybe it's not as full, but you're so much more comfortable already playing to a room full of people and knowing how to read the audience and chopping it up with them, between songs and like being like having your stage persona and really looking like you're at home up there. It translates whether you're playing for 500 people,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
and like you can feel that vibe, and like if you take enough time to like, kind of invest in it and make sure that, you see smiles out there, then it's like, all right, this is going to be a good show no matter what. They're having fun, or.
The one I look for, like the subtle, they're into it, even if
Mhm.
they're not like obviously reacting,
Yeah,
is when
yeah.
you see a couple of guys in the back that are thick into a conversation, but they're tapping their foot. They're in.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
in.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not paying attention to you, but they're still
Yeah.
giving you feedback. They're in.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah. I love too, like, if those moments of banter, whether it's between you and a stage member or you and someone in the audience, and it breaks the room, like, everyone just starts laughing, like, I
Mhm.
love those moments. There was a while back, I was playing the rooftop at, Garth Brooks, and, these ladies come in, these, like, middle-aged ladies come in, they're really enjoying it, and they're asked again, they're like, "How do we make a request?" We're like, "Oh, it's this, whatever." It's like, "It's $20 or something like that," and you see them like, "$20?" or whatever, and we had asked them earlier where they were from, and they were like, "Baltimore," and then whenever they were like, "$20," I was like, "Wow, you guys really are from Baltimore, aren't you?" And they just, like, they laughed, they gave me the finger, I'm like, "I'm just kidding, I'm playing around,"
Uh-huh.
so but it was good. Like, but like having that kind of, being able to read people, and being able to know who can, take what, because not all jokes are great everywhere,
Mhm.
So like not all jokes land all the time. But like being able to, judge the room, be like, oh, I have a little bit more of a more respectable, maybe churchy crowd. Maybe don't say that one nasty joke,
Mhm.
or it's 2 p.m. Maybe let's not, get too raunchy this early,
PG-13 as a max. Yeah.
Exactly, but yeah, it's that being able to read the crowd is such. I mean, I don't want to say it's more important than singing. I'm just saying I've made the difference between money and consistency of gigs is night and day when it
Mhm.
comes to like someone who knows how to work a room versus someone who doesn't, regardless of their talent, on the mic. So yeah.
No, and I completely agree. I think the time between songs is the most important part of the show
Hmm.
because that's what gets them invested into listening to the song.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you can hear any music you want at any caliber, any time of the day, anywhere. If
Hmm.
they want to listen to their favorite song, they can
Yeah, yeah,
for free at home, and it's perfect.
yeah, yeah.
So why do they want to listen to you? That's what happens between
Hmm.
songs. You get them invested in you, and then they love everything you do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you get a chance to be like a person in between the
Mhm.
songs. When you're playing, you're a musician. But when it's quiet and there's maybe someone's maybe the drummer has to make an adjustment or the guitar player has to tune. You talking to people in between there or like being something that the people can watch or interacting with the
Yeah.
crowd. It makes a lot of difference.
Mhm.
So it's something I've definitely tried to learn too, because it's like there are moments in which, Leo's got a tune or like something happens with the drum kit and James needs a moment. It's like at those moments, instead of being mad, I should be like, hey, like say something in the audience or something. Or like pay enough attention to what's going on to where I can kind of like either do a toast while someone's cheering or something like
Mhm.
that, or maybe like, do something, like, oh, it's someone's birthday, do like a little birthday song,
Yeah.
or something like that, like, and keeping that show rolling,
Yeah.
and keeping it, and being that spectacle that you're supposed to be, as a front person.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it's fun. I will say, like, once I figured out, because a lot of people struggle with this, like they're very stoic up there
Yeah.
because they're very like paying attention to what, they want to make sure that they don't look bad, which I get. But it's like once you understand that when you're on that stage, depending on the kind of music you're playing, if you're playing, obviously jazz or like, traditional country, yeah, probably keep it in. But if you're playing something rowdy,
Mhm.
like you're playing something like whether it's rock, R&B, whatever, like you have permission to act a fool up there. Like you
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
the
Right.
audience wants to see everybody go crazy. Like the more you contribute stage wise, you know, when James like does his little like drum twirl stick or whatever, like I'm like, yeah, keep doing that. You know, it's like if you're throwing the guitar behind your head or like look like you're chewing it or what, like they eat it up. You know, like they really do. And once I learned, like, no, you have permission to be crazy up here. Like they want to see that. It just like you unlock so much. Like you have a much more fun time. I've definitely had
Oh, absolutely.
and you feel more at peace. Like you feel more like, oh, I'm not as, you know, I'm not trying to keep up an image up here. I'm just having fun, you know. And the audience, they feed off of that, man. Like when they see that you're all smiles and you're running around and they love it. They really, really do. So
absolutely. There was a quote on the podcast long time ago. It was take the music seriously, but don't take yourself seriously.
I like that, dude. I really like that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and that applies to any kind of song also.
Yeah.
And that's how we keep people during the slow songs on Broadway. At the very least, we're having fun with each other, but what we're showing is we're all so invested in how this sounds.
Exactly.
And that we're all so into the performance. And then like, even just like the opposite of you know, twirling sticks, you know, really the opposite of a rowdy song, but the band is just so into sending it and delivering it. So there's that too. It's anything to generate interest and to make it sound like it's a moment on stage. So there are times in a song I'll increase volume just a little bit and, for maybe just a fill or just a beat or, you know, use the cymbals to swell into a new passage instead of just crashing on one. You can make something a little bit bigger, open the song up a little bit more, and then just generate attention a little bit, distracting from that deep conversation just for a second so that like they just look up for a little bit.
Dude,
like, oh yeah, there is a band here. You know, it's planting a seed. Maybe they're still in that conversation, but then in a couple minutes they'll come back to the band.
Man,
like we caught them for a second.
Yeah, make the music theatrical.
Yeah,
dude.
I love doing that.
It's the best. I love that. Yeah, what were you saying?
A great example. We do Margaritaville with Jera, and she flips a line. I blew out my flip flop, stepped on a pop top. She does. I blew out my flop flip, stepped in some dog shit. And when she says shit, I do a really loud bell hit on the ride as to kind of like bleep it out. And those little details of making the song theatrical bring it to life.
Man. Dude, that is true. That like, because you want to get like, because listen, they could, if you play it to the record, that's cool. But you also have to remember the fact they can also put in earphones and hear the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So you want to give them a little something like zesty and fresh. You know, out there when you want to give them a different experience than just them just putting on headphones and listen to it. Like if you want to, you know, make it engaging and fun. I remember, so I started playing with Vicky Nova this past year, which you got to have her on, man.
She's set to come on.
Yeah.
She is set to come on.
Yes, dude. She's so cool. Like just watching her grow has been like so much fun. But she, it was one night, it was me, her, Preston, and Drew Meckler. And we're all like, we're playing Whiskey Bent. It's like a Wednesday night. It's dead. But there's this little family like of like this like 5-6 group, you know, 6-person group, and they're from England or whatever. They're just sitting there chilling, and we're like, you know what? It's Wednesday night. Let's just have some fun. And so Drew's just like, all right. Or no, we said something. It's like, Drew, should we do a trash can? And Vicky's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, no, we should definitely do a trash can right now. Like, and make it just like insane. And Drew's like, yeah. And you know, Drew, he's just an animal.
I love him.
Bro,
he
like,
is so talented. Holy hell.
It was so funny watching him just we're just being obnoxious for these 6 people in there. And they go from just like talking and being themselves to when we look up, they're just like, like they're just like just looking, like, oh my God, like a gunshot went off. And we were just laughing. I was over the mic, just like, now that we have your attention. We just start playing 9 to 5. Like those, and dude, and like it set the whole tone for like the first hour and a half of the gig. And they loved us. We were chopping it up with them the entire time. And they're like making requests, throwing money in there and everything, like, and we were just having a good time. Like they really, I mean, like you said, and now all that's just to emphasize the vibe. You can make a show with 5 people at it feel like 500. You know, like you can make it feel really good. You like, and your ability to do so is a testament to your skill as a band. You know, like so it is like making that vibe and be like, and ultimately knowing that you are to be of service to the crowd. Like you are there for them. You're not there for you, you know? And if you can put that ego just to the side, you don't want to get rid of it because you want that ego to fuel how cool you are on stage, but just like, hey, this is about them. That's what gives you the respect, and that's what gives you like the reaction that you want when people hear your name or they see you on stage. It's like you gotta think about that, you know. And it's fun, man. It's you know, the most fun job I've ever had. You know, I'm definitely gonna keep doing it till I
you
can't.
can't.
Yeah, till you can't. Oh man, have you guys had Jake Holder on here yet?
I have
Not
tried
yet.
many times, and every
We
time
have
he's
an in.
so freaking busy.
Yeah.
Like he's just busy every time.
Oh man, yeah.
I'll forward. You know,
Dude.
I'll see him in a few hours. So
Listen,
I'll
Jake Holder, if you're listening right now, this podcast was made for you. You need to come on here. You have taught so many musicians so many things, myself included, and
What
they
to
would learn a
do,
lot.
what not
Yes,
to do.
exactly. We would learn a lot from you. We've already learned a bunch from you already, but we got to get the interview, man. Like we got to break it down. So
like I met Jake before he ever got to Nashville. He was still playing in Owensboro.
Oh wow.
And I am one of the ones that pushed him to come down here.
Oh yeah.
Because he messaged, because I had just moved down here and I started working with him up there. And he messaged me a dozen times or so. He's like, "Do you think I'd be okay down there?" And I was like, "Dude,
okay."
Like he's like, he'd be like, "Well, like, I know I'm a decent fiddle player, but like the fiddle player is like, that's no, just you are the product in that one. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, they can play fiddle or way better. That doesn't matter because they don't play it like you.
Exactly. Well, and it also helps too. Like fiddle is one of those instruments where it's like it's very niche. Like even in Nashville, it's like. But I mean, you have to be at least like Jake caliber level to get the work that he gets. Like you have to.
Sure.
Like there's. But if you do that, like which he did, he did his homework. He made sure he was awesome. Like the work just opens up. Be like, you know, like, oh yeah, you know. So I mean,
and that's the thing. Like, it's a lot more about knowing what kind of vibe your playing needs to be for a song, and not note for note what it is.
Exactly.
Like you talked about Drew. He can play circles around me. He is so much better of a drummer than me. But if he couldn't play music, I would get all of his gigs.
Yeah, for real. If he couldn't service,
he can.
room,
He's great at that too. Fuck that guy. But if it was just talent on your instrument, you can't do it.
Yeah, him. I always think of like Ethan Harb too, like, and how he's very much. They're both of that mindset of like they are, like obviously they have their styles of playing, but they're ultimately there to serve whatever artist that they're playing for, you know? And
absolutely.
Like, that is so integral down there. Like you will get so much. Listen, the reason that Ethan has, however, X amount of hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok is because that's a big thing of his, is like he's of service to the artist that he plays. And he's very dedicated, very like he's always posting, always. I hate that.
And it's freaking hilarious.
I know. Yeah, you better stop. Like, what a great moment. And like, and that moment too, like that, if that was the first video he posted, probably would not have gotten as big as it did. That was a result of him over the several years being down there, being like, I'm going to build my life around posting this content, you know, and making it a thing. And I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going to do this. And now, boom, you know, like he's got that, you know, and now you guys have had him in here, haven't you?
I have not. I do not personally know him. I know of him and
great.
have seen him play a billion times.
He's a sweetest
but we have
guy.
never sat down and like, hey, I'm Bobby. Nice to meet you. How are you, man? Let's be friends.
Dude, he's one of the sweetest, most hardworking people like you'll ever meet down there, man. And so I'm very happy for him and just like all the success that he's had. Like anytime I see him, just like, yeah, that's about right. One of these days, he's just gonna be, oh, I'm opening for Bill Murray. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, like you know.
And going back to like serving the song and stuff, like I have seen him play the most hard metal thing you could think of.
Oh yeah.
And then the sweetest country ballad, like spot on. and just be like,
Yep.
it's like that's the only thing he's ever done.
Yeah. Man.
Every time. And that's, I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, you can
Exactly.
play anything,
Mm-hmm.
but if it's not the right vibe
Yeah.
and if it doesn't feel good,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And it is the tragedy too, whenever you see it. I've definitely seen a handful of them of like people that have all the talent in the world, but they don't get like, bro, you got to serve the room. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can do all this stuff and your pocket's incredible and you can do whatever, or like you can shred like anybody. But it's like if you're not actually serving what the room needs at the time or what the artist needs, it's like, or if you don't want to. That's the thing. If you
Yeah.
don't want to, if you're like, I would rather do this or I would rather do that, it's like, dude, that's giving you a ceiling,
Well,
man.
if
You
you
just
feel like that, then you need to go do that. You don't need to be wasting your time doing this because you're not going to do it well.
Exactly. Like this will like, I mean, you know, you'll get paid so much amount with that idea, like being down here, but you could get paid a lot more. Like you could have a lot more opportunities if you were just like,
and a lot more fun.
Yeah,
if
for
that's
real.
what you want.
Exactly. Well, and it's just like just the amount that I've been able to just go on the road just because, like, I mean, the whole reason I came down here, like, I was a rock guy. I've been a rock guy my whole life. But I mean, once I hit 30, I was like, let me just try playing country music. Let me just try being what this city actually is asking of me to be, which is just to be a boom, 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 boom. You do that, like, let me try it. Best decision I ever made. It was a big lesson in like managing your ego to a certain, like, don't let your ego get in your own way, you know, because if you're able to do what other people need, now you're actually in front of people and now you can garner a certain level of respect because it's like you have this body of work that you have allowed yourself to take. You know, if you allow yourself to take that, then when people say your name, they're like, oh yeah, they just got off the road with so-and-so, or oh yeah, they just did this, because that's what they talk about, what you've actually done, not how you play. You know, they talk about like, oh, like your you know, level of, you know, respect in this town is like based on your body of work and what you're able to do, what you're open to doing. You know, if you're only, oh, I only want to do this or I only want to do that, I'm like, well, dude, it's not like you can never do it in this town, but like just kind of be what other people need you to be first, you know, like put other people first. And then you'll run into those people that are like, oh, you play metal too? It's like, this band needs, you know, whatever, you know, and it's like, boom, you're in there, you know? So, yeah, it's good stuff.
It's all about finding your people, but you got to be there to find your people.
Exactly. Just get out of your own way. You know, like don't let, I mean, it's okay to know that you're an amazing musician. Don't let that dictate like what you're able to do for other people, you know, because other people, that's where you're getting money from. That's where you're getting opportunities from. That's anything that you want out of this industry comes from other people.
Oh yeah.
So if you're able to think about, well, what do they need? Can I do that to the standard? It's not what I want to do, but hey, they're paying me X amount of dollars to do it, you know? And then you can build that reputation on your body of work versus, you know, oh, well, this is the drummer I am and that's it. Or this is the bass player I am and that's it.
And being realistic, if you are here and you are making a living playing music, we don't even have to talk about your music. We know you are competent.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I say, hey, I'm thinking about hiring this guy, do you know him? And you're like, yeah, he plays great. Instant red flag. If you talk about playing first, instant red flag. If you're like, dude, he is so much fun. And he's a great player. It's like, okay, that's the guy.
Yeah. I do like that. I feel like being in this town too, it's like, it's cool. Like you put you in the very rare position where you'll have opportunities to where you're the least experienced on the stage. But that's, if you really care about what you're doing, that's where you want to be. You want to, if you really are trying to learn and trying to grow, you want to be the dumbest person in the room. Not because, you know, you haven't educated yourself, but other people have educated themselves way more. And you see that experience. That's what I love playing with Jake. Like, I always felt like I was the noob, but I did my job, you know, and he was very gracious and he saw like, hey, you know, he may not rip into solos, but he sticks in that pocket and he does what I need him to do. And I'm like, that's all I ask. You know, it's all I ask for a front man to notice is like, you know, he does what he does well, you know? So, and I learned so much, you know, from that gig. I to this day, it's like, I hope to be able to put same aspects that he has in his shows to mine in some point. I've definitely tried a little bit, with certain songs and everything, but yeah, I want more of that. It just feels great, it
Hmm.
feels so good. So,
You got to live like you're not far from your next recommendation. And
mhm.
your next recommendation could come from anywhere
Oh,
Yeah.
down
absolutely.
here, really. So,
Mhm.
if you're stepping into a new situation, the best thing you could do, I think I've said this on a previous episode, is that just show the effort, show the presence
Mhm.
of, I might not know 100%, but I will follow every step of the way.
Hmm.
I'll follow
Yeah, yeah.
every mannerism,
Effort means
really.
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like if they're just totally falling flat, but you know that they're trying and they're putting the
Yeah.
work in and they're
Mhm.
they're going home and they're doing the homework and you
Mhm.
can see it, you don't want to lose that ever.
Yeah.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
important. Way more important than the guy that just already knows everything and doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And consistency. That's a
Hmm.
big thing. Like, once you get to a point where you can kind of build, that's the new era that I'm kind of in right now with Year Love. Is like, this is the first time I've actually had a consistent drummer and a consistent guitar player, and it relieves so much stress because I don't have to worry about booking. Every now and then, they got a family thing or something like that, and they usually are good enough about like letting me know way enough in advance, like,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
I can't make this gig or whatever, and that's great. But the consistency and, like you said, being willing to just be up there and like, and follow the lead,
Hmm.
not only on stage but even off stage, and like it's great, and getting that from them it's been really, really cool. So I've been very, fortunate to have that. So, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Like it's the what this city has to offer to at every level of musician, and even like, you know, engineers,
Oh
producing, all
yeah.
that
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
It's just like there's so much. That's really what the city has to offer more. Like when we think of opportunities, we think about money or fame or,
Hmm.
or all the glamorous aspects of it. But the real opportunities in this city are like behind the scenes. It's like if you want to learn, if you want to grow, there's no better place for a musician, I think, in the world than Nashville,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
because it teaches you like everything, like what your role is, like what kind of mindset you need to have based on the role that you're in. And it's like getting out of your own way, all that. Like, it's so much of that is down here, and
Hmm.
you're either gonna learn or you're just gonna go back to wherever you're from. Like, hey, it's just, there's a way of doing things, and it's like, and if you can, you know, go with the flow, and you're malleable and you're cool to kind of do like the more, like I said, more opportunities show up.
Yeah.
That I think the biggest benefit to coming to Nashville is you can learn really quick if this is actually what you want to do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like when you're back at home and there's 6 bars and 5 bands and you're in 4 of them,
Hmm.
like you have a very pigeonholed idea of what the career is.
Yes.
And you come to Nashville and you learn exactly what you need to do and what it takes to be successful, and everything's right in front of you.
Hmm.
You get the opportunity to decide within months, do you really want to invest in this or do
Yeah.
you want to keep looking?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Is music a hobby or can you do this as a lifestyle?
Dude, yeah. I remember. Like, that's been the big thing that's changed since the last time I was here, aside from getting that, solid group of people, is like those tin roof runs. That's primarily what's been keeping me on the road.
Hmm.
And I've had a great time working with that organization. It's been really, really cool. And but I remember going, like I said, going from just showing up to a gig to having to have the money up front to pay for the Airbnb and
Of
for the
course.
car rental and everything. And like, whether it's, in cash or credit card or whatever, having to plan several months in advance, like how, booking different people. When I started, I was using a different lineup every week or
Yeah.
whatever, and having to do all that, and the amount of stress that you go from just like, hey, oh, I'm just showing up, to, oh no, I have to plan this, and
Right.
I have
Yeah.
to drive there, I have to do all this other like all of that, like. And I remember the first year and a half, it really, it was a lot on me mentally. One weekend in particular, I had a little bit of a health scare because of it. I had to whip together a band to go to Chicago and play up there. And it was great. It ended up being an amazing weekend. But I remember the day I got back, I had a closing gig at Rippy's, and I remember feeling like I had taken a shot of something, and I think it hit in my vape pen. That's all I did. And I remember just getting a cold sweat and just being like, all right, I got to fight this. I got to stay on stage. But it was just like all systems were just starting to shut down.
Yeah, right.
And I walked off stage. I blacked out for a second. I came to. Luckily, I was fine. Like I kind of monitored myself for the next week and like, made sure everything was good. And I was okay. All that was stress induced.
Oh, yeah.
All of that. It had to have been stress induced because the weekend before was one of the most like, like just I had to find a band, get my gigs covered, blah, 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 all this, do all this thing just to make that trip work. And then I remember having a moment like within this couple of weeks, just like, man, things have gotten so much harder since I've done these gigs. And then the thought came up of like, maybe I need to step back. And before I could even say step back, I was like, no, I love this. What are you talking about stepping back? Like, this is the best, like, so there was a meme I read recently online. I think it was like a quote from someone, but it was talking about how like passion, like people always say you should follow your passion. It's like your passion isn't necessarily something that you always enjoy. It's something that you're willing to suffer for a very long amount of time to make it happen. That's really what passion is. It's putting the blood, sweat, and tears into something, like this, and look what the result is. Like we're at Brian's place right now. For those of you watching at home, it's pretty nice, right? So
doing well for himself.
He's doing great. Got a pool out back and all this stuff. We were gonna go play some racquetball after this. So
700 roommates, but we're not talking about
let's go with that.
Exactly.
But I mean, it was a result of y'all's consistency, like moving up and everything. It's like you have to be consistent, and that's really what passion is finding something that's like, yes, this makes my life a certain level of tumultuous, but the byproduct and how I feel after I do it, it's like, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Well, and that's the thing. The stress is because you care.
Exactly.
If you weren't stressed about it and you were like, I'll find somebody, it'll be fine, whatever. You don't care.
Exactly. And that's something I'm having to learn as a 36-year-old man is like, there's going to be a level of BS you're going to have to put up with for anything in life to work. Anything. And it's not just music, it's relationships. It's, it's like, your own personal self-validation. It's like you got to put yourself through some shit, man. You have to. You can't, as great as it would be just to have a comfortable, like whatever, have everything handed. There's a reason people hate rich kids growing up because they're ungrateful. It's because their ungrateful attitudes comes from like they're not able to appreciate what it is, or like how good everything is because they've never had privation. They've never hungered. They've never hurt for something. They don't know what it's like to go without. And then when you get it, it's like that's how you frame the context of how good something is as what you did to get it. So, and it's true in like a lot of aspects of life, more than I want, but but it's not about what I want. It's about the way things are, so.
And that's what you can't get comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not doing anything.
Exactly. That's something I'm trying to learn. Like I've heard there's like a break should be something that's earned, not something that's scheduled. It's like and I love, I love having fun anytime. I'm looking forward to this gig this weekend.
Right.
I'm going out with a buddy of mine to Florida, and we're going to be on the beach for a couple of days, which is going to be nice. I love being able to be in that role of just, hey, I'm just going to show up, play, do my thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, the fulfillment of life comes from challenging yourself. Like, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? Like, how can I be a better person? How can I be a better player? How can I be a better friend? Like, that's really what it's about, and like putting yourself in, like you said, being uncomfortable. So,
yeah.
And that's literally the worst part of the job because I'm uncomfortable doing the things that I have to do to be successful. Like I'm such not the social butterfly.
Yeah.
But you have to be. And so I have to make myself uncomfortable and talk to people and hang out and realizing that like it is absolutely fine to be weird and awkward.
Oh yeah.
Because people gravitate to that. They're like, oh, that dude's weird. I kind of want to hang out with him.
Exactly. Well, and it's real, it's that's the thing. It's not so much that it's social or awkward, but it's who you actually are. You're not trying to lie to these people. It's like obviously you want to, have your, certain who you are in front, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like you're getting over on them or presenting something fake, So
authenticity wins every time.
It does.
Like, and in so many ways also.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
being your genuine self, finding your genuine self, and not being afraid of presenting who that is. And yeah, I get it, and it gives back in so many ways.
It does. It does.
I understand. I'm into that cycle now where I play the gig and then go home. I know, and it's like I'm heading back night after night. Like, oh, I know my friend is playing over here, and I could go out to this and catch this round. So it's just making the active choice, and I think it always comes back to the first step is like the hardest one.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
really
Oh,
it,
yeah.
you know. I was on top of it when I moved here.
Oh yeah.
And then you get into the work cycle of it,
Yep.
and then the rest cycle of it comes. And I know.
And that's the thing too, like the biggest advice most people give when they talk about, Nashville is network, network, network.
Yeah.
But I think that phrases it or puts that in the wrong frame, because networking isn't going to do shit for you in Nashville. Making friends is what does it. So you can't just go meet people, hand them a business card, and then they call you. You have to go meet people and talk about their weird fucking hobby for 2 hours, and then they never stop calling you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you go for. Like that's what you want. You want, like, I can't tell you how many stories that I've had on the podcast where somebody's like, yeah, I played with this guy at this shitty hole in the wall bar and it was awful. And 6 years later, he calls me for the Kelsey Ballerina gig. And I'm like, I'm still playing shitty bars and trying to figure out what I need to take to an arena show. Like, what? This is my life? Yeah, that's how it works. The guy you played with 10 years ago says, hey, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're in one of the biggest bands on the planet.
100%, man. That's how it goes.
Hell, Tyson Leslie gets to play with freaking everybody.
I know, dude.
Because he makes friends.
Have you had him on the show?
I have, and he's coming back.
Dude, I need to listen to that one. So.
Oh, it was right after A Rare Hair.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, he was, like, right in that kind of, like, everything just happened last night. And so we can just go and we talk about his pants a lot. It's a great, that's actually the most listened to episode on the podcast.
That makes sense, man, because I mean, I don't know him super well. I've probably met him once or twice, but I don't think I know a musician in this town that doesn't know that guy.
Exactly.
Like he plays like he's just in this, he's probably one of the better examples of just being someone who's made themselves available. You know, he plays everything, doesn't he?
And at the same time,
I've seen him play bass and guitar, like
bass and keys at the same time, while running a whole Rare Hair show.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so that, I mean, and it was about what he contributed.
Yes.
You know, like he's made his career about what he has contributed. You know, and I think that, like you said, if I, like I said earlier, like, think about what other people need and try to fill that need. You know, like if that's your priority, you're going to get way more out of this town, like being what people need you to be than just being like, well, how much am I getting paid? Right. You know, how much is the gig? You know, it's like that, like, I mean, take going on the road, for example. I've seen so many musicians that I don't ever see down here anymore because they took the lesser paying road gig at the time. They could have stayed in town, had a double, had a triple, made 3 times as much money in that day. But instead, they took, that artist gig because they liked the music, they liked the person, and they wanted to get out of town. And they wanted to, like, be of service to them. And now those guys get called for all the big artist gigs. They don't have to come down here anymore. They don't have to go through dead season anymore because while everyone else is going through dead season, they're on the road opening for Riley Green or something like that.
Exactly.
It's like, you never know. It's like, so you got to think long term. It always kills me when I see musicians that are just like the number one question, well, how much is the gig? It's like, that's very short-sighted of you.
Yeah.
Because the most prestigious players who end up never, like, maybe being in their 50s and 60s playing once a week down here, like, those are guys that are like, let me go play for people that are running around the country. Let me go play for those, because there's always a need for that. Always a need. There's not always a need for people to be on Broadway. There's always a need for people to be on the road. Always, 100%, at all times of the year. So if you open yourself up to that line of work, you're just opening yourself up to consistency. It's like, well, could have stayed in town in the summer and made X amount of dollars, but because I didn't, now going through the winter and dead season, I'm making way more money than I normally would if I stayed on Broadway, so.
And I mean, even just from like a personal point of view, like if somebody calls me for a gig and I'm thinking about the money, I don't want to play the gig.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you called me for a gig, I'd be like, dude, I get to play with you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, it doesn't pay shit. And I'm like, I don't even care.
Exactly.
I get to play with you.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm like, how much is it?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, nobody's going to have fun at this show.
Yeah.
You're going to bring everybody down.
Dude, I know, man.
And-
It is, yeah.
And like I try to be like that person that brings that like happiness and excitement. So like
Exactly.
like when Jared gets called to do like a whiskey jam type thing, and it's like, this doesn't pay anything. We're gonna go up do 4 songs, and then like it's a pain in the ass. That's a lot of work for nothing, but it's so fun.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
And I love playing with her and her people. She surrounds herself with amazing humans, and I will basically do anything that band asks me to do.
Yeah.
Because I want to.
Yeah. Well, and there's more to get out of, like, there's a different level of what you get out of a gig like that versus just chasing the money.
Absolutely.
You know? So like, I mean, I've gone to a couple of those whiskey jams before. I've yet to play. I'm gonna try to get on at some point, you know, but I mean, just going there, the vibe is different because people are trying to see who the next big artist is, you know? And so you have a lot of people that come out that already know these artists, you know, a lot of people that already, or like when you're like me, half the time I don't know them, or maybe there's one person on the bill that I know, but it's like, I just want to see what's out there, you know, like what's going on, it's curated talent. And so, and you know, that organization, Whiskey Jam, has done such a good job building that audience. Like that event built the audience for those artists that are going out, you know, and getting that opportunity. And it's really, really fun. And I mean, you see the names that have come out of it.
Oh yeah.
Like Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton, all these guys have played this event, you know. So it's cool to actually, when you get an opportunity to actually play something like that, where people are like, let's see what you got, you know. I feel like that should be earned, you know. I feel like that is something that you,
absolutely.
like, you're not making any money, but it's like these people actually give a shit about what you have to say.
And that's
you know?
the thing. So if nobody cares about you, they have no reason to want to listen to your music.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how great it is if they don't care.
Exactly.
And playing something like Whiskey Jam is like, oh, they're playing Whiskey Jam. Maybe I should care.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go see what this is all, because apparently people care.
Yeah.
And then as a musician going to things like that, it's a great way to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on. Like, okay, these 6 bands are kind of going in this direction. That's the thing right now. That's what I need to pay attention to.
Yep. It is like, it's weird because there is like, even when you get to that aspect of it, where like going where like, what's the buzz around town? It does feel like it takes on a little bit of a different form. You know, it feels very like LA kind of New York.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it.
I'm at Whiskey Jam. I get to play, you know, like, but it's got that kind of attitude, but not like, but at the same time, if you're an artist that goes in there and you really have something great, like you really have you have a great talent for writing or for performing or something, it's shown on that stage, you know, and it, you know, I don't know the guy that made it, but thank God for him and everything that he's done, you know, and I mean, there are other, you know, events too. There's the Raise Rowdy bus calls, like all those, like those events, you know, are so integral to like actually, you know, making a scene for the original people that are trying to come out of Broadway and trying to come out of just the, you know, the grind, you know, they're trying to actually be a household name, you know, and, but it's fun. It's fun to go to those and watch and just see what people are, you know, doing. And it's free too, which is great.
Yeah.
Just walking in, it don't cost another fee to go out there. And like, it's, you know, it is what people in the business world call networking, you know, but it really is like, it's just like making friends and being
and that's the big thing too, is like, you know, it's got the right thing going when musicians who won't go to their best friend's gig because they want to go home will make plans to go see them in Whiskey Jam.
Exactly.
Oh, you're playing Whiskey Jam? No chance I'm going to miss that.
Exactly.
That's the one I'm going to. And so you know that it's got something.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt so terrible. So Jara got sick over the holidays and like the bad sick, congestion, flu, couldn't sing. She had to cancel a bunch of dates. She texted me and she was like, I just can't. I need to take this week off. I can't do these dates. And I think it was like an hour later, she texted me and she was like, I hate my life. I just got a call to play Whiskey Jam and I have to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And I was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because if you got the call, that means you deserve it and you will
Yeah.
get it back. You will get the call again. And it's better to go in fresh and ready than to go in and just not be
for real.
100%.
You want to make a good first impression.
And
you know?
and I
Like,
think her being able to say, hey, I'm sick, I can't do this one, like
yeah.
total respect.
Well, it's been my general experience too, because I did a lot of bus calls. Bus call was the reason I got these Tin Roof Runs.
Mm-hmm.
And so shout out to John Spavolda and bus call people. So, but I did that like 4 or 5 times before the opportunity to do the road stuff even came up. So, and now it's like so there is, you're not going to get anything. It's like having that foresight of like, you're not going to get anything immediately out of this. But it is definitely something like if people are asking you to go out to those shows, or if you've like got the opportunity to play them, you're doing something right. Like you're doing something like if you're getting asked to do these curated talents, like, or these curated displays of talent, you want to do those things, because there are going to be, it may not be the first show, may not be the second, may not be the 5th, like, that someone is in there that can really give you an opportunity.
Right.
But showing up, and actually being there, and, being of service while you can, even for nothing, it will translate to long-term benefit,
Absolutely. She got to play Losers Live a few months ago.
Really? Yeah.
And we were talking before the show, and I can't remember who it was. Somebody asked her, how'd you get this gig anyway? Like, how did you get in and she was like, I really don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's when you know, like, when you have that ability to be like, okay, this is just happening, then you've got something. And you can really lean into that because there's clearly something there that somebody wants.
Oh, yeah. 100%, and it was like very much it was really cool to get that call from the Tin Roof people to be like, hey, what else do you do? And I was like, well, I've been doing a rock set, late 90s, early 2000s rock. They're like, that's perfect. It's like, we do mostly country stuff here, but we're trying to like spice it up a little bit. And we've definitely, over the course of playing with them, we found the locations that are like the most hype whenever we show up. And it's really fun to go there and just see the excitement on their faces when it's like, it's not country, it's,
right.
It's like, I haven't heard My Chemical Romance since middle school, it's like,
and then
really
turn
cool
around and then just knock some country out of the park and be like, holy shit, you do everything.
Exactly.
Like that's my favorite thing in the world is go from like George Strait to Blink 182. And it's like, now everybody loves everything.
Oh yeah. And I've definitely like started to implement a little bit more country into our sets because I mean, like I said, like you're going to have those, it's like you have those songs that you want to play or the genre you want to play. But when you're trying to make money and you're trying to hustle, it's like, be open, like the more open you are, like I started, playing some more Leonard Skinner. We do some Toby Keith now, every now and then, some Luke Bryan. We'll do those like kind of like basic kind of Broadway stuff. And I mean, just that alone, just peppering that in there while we're doing, the Nickelback and Creed and all that other stuff, just peppering a little, maybe a little Country Road, something like that. Like they love it, like being able to kind of switch back and forth and stuff. And, I think it's, like I said, it goes back to the whole play into the room thing, if you, I've had some shows too. I've used to play with this guy, Eddie Bustamante. Like I've played with him a couple times and he's one of the most talented vocalists I've actually played with. It's insane, like how talented he is. And he would do, he's got like kind of like an R&B kind of thing going. And we were doing a bunch of like rock and country. And then out of nowhere, I think we just started You Got It Bad by Usher. And we had a group of like people in there that were like, they just like went crazy. They just started dancing. Like, I love being able to like turn that and just be like, what? Like, well, if you can hit that switch where people are like, what? How? What is it? Like, it's so much fun. It's so crazy.
I also play with Eddie. I think we started playing together with Eddie.
Yeah.
That's where probably where I met you initially.
It's probably a second fiddle game.
Right. Yeah. So really going from, oh my gosh, we'll play Bad Bunny, we'll play, Usher, but then we'll do My Chemical Romance, we'll do Taking Back Sunday, and then a country song, something like that. And when the band can really speak like all of the musical languages, right? It's one thing to play a certain style, but when you can like embody a
Yep.
certain style of music on whatever instrument you are. As a side player, that is
Oh, for real.
that's worth. It'll bring it everywhere. It's
It
worth
will.
so much.
It will.
Yeah.
And Eddie has like a big like reggaeton background too.
Yeah,
He used to do like weddings back in Florida.
right.
Like I've seen some of the videos of him like back in the day. He'd have the suit on and stuff. And he's like killing. I'm like, golly, like that's nuts. I've thought about that too. I'm like, man, those wedding gigs. Like the one wedding I did play, it was one of the more fun. It was in like Golden, Colorado.
Okay.
They saw us play in Chicago like maybe a year and a half before. And we every now and then we'll get someone asking about the weddings, and then we get to the price, like, and they're like, I'm out, But I remember being on the phone with my buddy Evan Pearson. He does a lot of like business stuff, like outside of playing. He's a drummer down here, but he's on like the booking and business side of it. So me and him were talking, like we were on a 3-way call. And he was like adding up all the costs, like, well, it's in Colorado, so we're gonna need flights, we're gonna need a hotel, we're gonna need all this stuff. And I'm just waiting for them just to be like, we'll give you a call. But like as soon as we were done, they were just like, yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, we'll do it. I'm just like, yeah. So, and they were such a gracious like party. Like there's they had a lot of love for us, before and after the show. And it was really, really fun to play. I'm like, man, I feel like I should do some more weddings every now and then.
Right?
I'm definitely open to it. So, like, I mean, I'm definitely like, I've put on the page. I'm like, hey, we'll play a wedding. We'll do a birthday. I don't care, like,
right? Bar mitzvah, whatever.
Exactly. If you got the money, and you can host us, and it's like we're comfortable and stuff, we'll make it happen. And but yeah, dude, it's another one of those. It's like the more you're open to, it's like if you have that service mindset to where it's like I'm here to give something to people that they didn't have. I'm not on the stage for myself. I'm here for them. Those are the people that usually end up being on the private jets and the tour buses and, getting to hang out with cool people. There's a guy, Miles Berger, who I used to play with every now and then on the Tootsie circuit. And he did it. He harmonica, guitar, upright bass, solid dude. But, he recently got a gig with a little actor. I don't know if you know Steven Wilson Jr. So,
no, not at all.
Yeah, so he just did.
Wow.
And I remember, because I'd followed Steven before, like for a while. I found him on TikTok. And I remember one day scrolling through his Instagram. I'm like, is that Miles? How did he get that? That is so cool. So, and I recently got to reconnect with him on a gig and like chit chat with him a little bit. It was cool. I was like, bro, that's so awesome. And he's like, I appreciate it, man. Like he's one of those guys that's like, he deserves it. Like he really does.
That's
everything that he does, because he has that service mindset. He knows that he's up there to serve, and now he's with one of the most, I mean, I would dare to say like the next Chris Stapleton, like Steven Wilson Jr. We're going to hear his name a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
absolutely.
the coming decades, I'm sure, so, and I love that he got that opportunity. And, he's one of those guys too that, he's just happy to have done it, so like he's very grateful for it, and I hope he continues to get opportunities like that. So
that's the thing too, right there, is back home, everything was like very selfish. All musicians were selfish.
Yeah.
It was I can't have you playing with this band because you're in my band. You can't do that because you're here. Like, this is what we are. You have to be like loyal, and everything's like, if they can't get the gig, we want the gig. And here it's legitimately a community, and it's like, dude, you picked up a great gig that I would love to have. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I think like it took a minute for me to adapt to not having to feel like I have to protect myself all the time, and that I can be open and vulnerable with people and be humans together. And one of the things that kind of tipped me over the edge is like, if Brian gets a gig that I wanted, that is great.
Yeah.
Because he's going to move to a better gig later, and he can give me a recommendation.
Exactly.
And so him getting that gig opens a door to me getting a gig like that, because he's on that level now.
Yeah.
And so if you take a step back and you can be happy for your friends for moving up, then that shows them that you're the kind of person that deserves to be there too.
Yeah. Well, it puts you in a more advantageous position, because it's like, there's no immediate kickback to being like, oh, good for you, man. There's no immediate kickback to that. But if you are that way enough If you're a working musician and you're that way enough with enough people, you only need a few of them.
Yeah.
Or even like one of them.
Right.
To be like, Bobby was a great dude.
Yeah.
And Bobby would love to play for this guy. Or they might get a call like, hey, I'm looking for a drummer. I'm looking for a bass player. Be like, you ever heard of Mitch? He's the producer on this. He can help you out. You know?
Right.
So yeah, it's like, it is that mind, like it ups your chances in the long. You can't think so short-sightedly here in Nashville, like people tend to do in LA and New York. I actually wrote a song about running into those kinds of people that like they kind of feel like they have to tell you in the first conversation what they've done, you know?
Yeah.
And they usually are from a different, like a very cutthroat music scene. And I'm like, I don't care about that, man.
Right?
Like I really don't. Like I give like, you know, there was one time I was at Red Door, I ran into this guy. I don't remember his name. And even if I did, I don't think I would say it. But like, you could kind of tell he had kind of like that LA kind of smarm or whatever. He's older guy, face tattoos, denim, like real like slick looking guy. And out of nowhere in the conversation, we're chit chatting with a group of people. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a producer and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it makes you one out of a gajillion in this bar.
Right.
Like this whole bar is filled with producers, dude. It's like it's not a big deal here, but it's more like it just kind of goes to the testament of like, you know, are you being of service? Like, because there are plenty of amazing producers here that I've worked with, some very prestigious people you would never know in the first conversation.
No.
Unless it organically came up, you know, like they don't wear that on their sleeve, you know. They have this grateful, like kind of stoic attitude about it, and they care more about, you know, just the conversation itself, you know, and like kind of getting, as opposed to like, oh, I'm setting myself up for, you know, like I gotta let people know what I've done and these are my accolades and all this other stuff. I wrote a song about it recently where it's like, we don't care about that. Like in this
And it's
town,
true.
we care more about how we feel when we hear your name than we do whoever you've worked with,
Right.
whoever you've toured with, or whatever songs you're like. If you're just like a person we want to be around, that translates to business, you know? And that's something you can't fake here. You can't fake that because because we are such a close-knit community, all the good you do will be heard of and all the bad you do will be heard of by someone at some point. And you as an individual, I think it puts you on your toes, you know, it tells you, you know, like kind of what you need to work on and like when you have the authority to speak on something and when you don't, you know, because other people will call you out, you know, and like, I think it's fair, you know, especially like, you know, if you know, whether you're a good person or a bad person, you know, it's like, that is, you know, you do kind of get judged in a different way in this city than just, you know, oh, I was in the studio with Justin Bieber last year. It's like, that's great, dude. But if you're a chore to be around, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't
like,
outplay being a dick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's kind of my thing. It's like, I'm just not like, if you're just somewhat like, it's just insufferable, and you're just like, yeah, I've done this and I've done that, and blah, blah. Or you got to let people know. I'm like, that just makes you look way different here.
Yeah.
It makes no one's out here being. We're all fed by music here, you know.
Yeah.
So we're not looking at you like, oh, you can take me somewhere. And if you do look, you're like in your 20s, you know, like. But once you hit once you've been here for a minute, like, and you're actually a seasoned musician, you know, it's more or less you kind of judge who you take more seriously based on who's given you opportunities, you know, like in the past, you know, and building kind of like whatever you're building through that, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's fun. It's always funny. Anytime I get in those conversations, I'm just like, hey, man. Like, that's cool, you know.
And another thing I don't think people think about to just drive home the whole friendship value is that also becomes like a safeguard. So like if somebody asks you if you know a drummer and you think of me, you can think, okay, well, this is what Bobby's good at.
Yeah.
That's not the gig for him. That's going to hurt him. That he's not going to do well there.
Exactly.
I'm not going to recommend him for that.
Yeah.
But this guy over here, they would get along so good. I need to introduce them.
Exactly.
And so the benefit of opportunity, but also cutting out some of that fat
For
that
real.
you would just have to suffer through and deal with.
Yeah.
You don't have to now because other people are looking out for you.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, we've played shows together where like it was definitely a fit for me. I knew the music, everything was great. And we've played shows where you had to coach me through a lot of stuff I didn't know. And so because of that, you would have a decent idea of where I could fit well and would do a good job and not disappoint. And then places that would make me look bad.
Exactly.
And you can protect me.
Exactly. I can't tell you, like, anytime, like, if I have to call out last minute on a gig or something comes up, like, I always have at least like 4 or 5 bass players. Like, I'm just like, hey, that's my thing. If I have to call out, I'll be like, hey, I can't make it to this. Do you need my help finding someone? I will put out a, feeler on Facebook or whatever, and I could give you X amount of contacts. And like, I usually defer that to the front person because sometimes they have people on their back burner that they like to call. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. So I'll ask them, like, I can't make it. What do you need from me? And if they're like, nothing, it's cool, I got it, great. But sometimes if it's super last minute, they're like, give me some, I'll give them 5 to like 9 bass players. Like, just like, boom, boom, I'm just sending contacts like crazy. So, and all of these guys are people that I've met in the past that I know are competent, that I know can like make it happen. So that's really what you want to do is you got to think about your career in that aspect too, is like, you want to be in those contact lists. For drummers, for bass players, for whatever instrument you play. It's like, you want to be one of those contacts that gets sent out. That, hey, I need someone to fill in for me, so.
And guaranteed there will be a text message the next day. How'd they do?
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah.
And
okay?
if the front comes back and says, man, they did great.
Yeah.
They knew the songs. They were so fun to be around.
Yeah.
You're like, cool. They stay.
Yeah.
They stay on that contact list.
Oh, for real.
And one of the first things I think, if I have to sub out and I'm thinking of drummers, it's like, all right, who is going to take my job? That's the guy I need to call. Who are they going to be like, dude, I want to play with him? That's the guy I call.
Yep. Yeah.
Because if it's the guy, they're like, man, don't ever send me him again. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because then you're just like,
come
oh,
back
crap.
from that.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure, right? When a recommendation goes south, that's terrible. That's the worst feeling. I've had a couple myself, and like, you can't talk your way back from that.
No, you can't.
I mean, I could think of the 2 times, and I just did not have an answer for like, oh yeah, when I experienced playing with that person, it was this. It went this way. And apparently it was a complete 180 from your experience.
Oh,
so
man,
I can't even speak to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. Dude, the problem that I have, especially like that I was starting out with as a front person, is like, I'm already kind of in a more niche genre of music, doing the late 90s, early 2000s rock. So it's one thing to find a guitar player. It's another, or a band members to do that kind of thing. But the thing is, it's like when you're doing it for that niche where it's like, I can't just show you this on the fly. You have to learn it. It's so much harder. And it's like, but I know so many people that can do it. I probably know more people that can do that than anyone. But even then, it's like, those guys are all busy because they're all good. So it's like, so I'll try to like, anytime people will like, hey, I need a recommendation or something, I'm like, well, I'll send you this information, but they're good. And if someone tells you that they're good, or at least if I tell you, that means they work a bunch. So like, hopefully they'll be available. Hopefully they'll have some times, but it's like,
that's why you have to send 10 or 15 names, because you're going to call them all before you find one.
And one of them might be like, oh, my gig got canceled today. I'll take that one. It's like, so yeah, it is. It's kind of the curse of being a front person. It's like, I know a lot of good players, but they always work. Like, oh, someone's already locked them down for the next 6 months, so, but it's fun. I mean, it's definitely something, like, that's the community of musicians you want to be in, those people that just are never stop,
Yeah.
Like Logan Hatcher. He's like the hardest working bass player on Broadway, man. Like, every time I see him, it's like, oh, I got another quad. I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
I'm on my 78th shift since yesterday.
Oh my, since yesterday. Haven't slept. Oh man.
Played 1,500 shows this year. There's not 1,500 shifts.
Did you play on every stage? Twice? So
turns out if you time the 3 song breaks just right, you can play 4 gigs at the same time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
and still has time to meet with you for lunch
I know. Yeah,
and
yeah.
talk and
Mhm.
give you advice and introduce you to. He's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, man. We gotta have him on here too. Logan Hatcher, if you're out there.
He's
Right?
been on. He's
Yeah.
one that I got to get back on. He was
Yeah.
supposed to come on last year, and he got busy last minute and had
Yeah.
to cancel. And I haven't got back with him yet, but he's on the list.
Dude, yeah,
Got to
he's
get him
great.
back.
Mhm.
And his story coming to town was great because
Mhm.
he did what most of us did. He come to town and then completely shit the bed. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
totally fell on his face.
Mm.
And then somebody was gracious enough to be like, all right, here's what you do.
Mhm.
And then now freaking look at him.
Yep.
He's a rock
Yeah.
star.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, dude. It's cool. It's cool seeing that, and contributing to it, man. Like it is like I think it's very understandable given like the history of the industry, why people would think it's very like this dark cutthroat, whatever, like
And I
world,
mean, it
whatever. Yeah,
was.
and it is. I get that, but I think that the light that Nashville shines onto that in particular is the strength of the community
Mhm.
Yeah.
and of people being like willing to kind of come here and fall on their face, but learn from it,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
and trying to grow. And those people normally prove themselves over time. It's like they may make a couple of mistakes starting out, or maybe do some wrong pivots career wise or whatever, but they learn from it and
Yeah.
they keep going.
Yeah.
So I think it is like it's something to consider, like, just in the long run. It's like it is when you have that community of people that truly all we want to do is play music. Like
Yeah.
all we want to do,
Yeah.
if we can just play music, like we're not, most people here, we're not asking for much, like
No.
we just want to play and be, of service to these people that are coming in. It's like, if that's your heart, it's very noticeable. People like that are so much more noticeable than the people that are like, I just want to be famous. It's
Yeah.
like I do too, man. But I mean, if I have to choose between that, or just playing music, I would choose just playing music, because
Absolutely.
it's so much more fulfilling, So, but yeah, it's a lot. I just love. I'm very lucky to have grown up here, and just even seeing the changes now.
Mhm.
Like I know that it's the phase when Morgan came to town, has his bar, and now Garth Brooks and all these other people. It's like that first, like you could definitely tell, like the business got spread out.
Oh, yeah.
But now some of these businesses that came down here thought they knew what they were doing. They're starting to close up. And
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see that this summer. I think we're gonna see the results of that. Like the people that came down here, and the corporations that came down here thinking, oh, this is how you do it. And then they're losing the business,
Mhm.
Meanwhile, the other places, I mean, some of the more small mom and pop spots, like I don't think I've ever been into Robert's Western World and that place was not packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, and it's like, and you go in there, it's like you're in a time machine.
Mhm.
Like this is just traditional steel slide upright. Like they really, I don't know who owns that bar, but whoever does, like they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and like they are giving. That's what people come to There's so many people that come to Nashville. They just want that,
Yeah.
and they do it better than a lot of people downtown.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people, they want to follow the trends and they want to add the DJs, which that has certain business, like it has certain value to the business. But but the big thing about Roberts is that it's still different.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing, but even the context of today, it sticks out like like I don't want to say sore thumb because that implies that it's bad, but it sticks out so much so that it's like it just always people are always dancing in there. I always have a hard time finding a seat in there. Like
Yeah,
always. I'm
absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
Jesus, dude. And that's a great problem to have when you're a mom and pop shop on Broadway.
And the other side of the coin, we've all played venues that can't establish what they are.
Yeah.
It's like, is this a country bar? Is this a rock bar? I
Exactly.
can't figure out what this is.
Yeah.
And if us as the musicians working there don't know what it is,
Yeah.
the people don't know what it is.
Exactly, man. And I mean, and I made a post about it recently on the Gig Finder where it's like, in reference to the way bars do things. I'm like, listen, there are bars that will pay you to behave, and then there are other bars that actually pay you to do your job.
Yeah.
Which even if it's a little bit, even if it's less, if that bar is paying you to actually be entertaining, stand up on the bar, give people a show,
Mhm.
I've made more money on those bars than I ever did on any corporate bar. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's nice walking in knowing, oh, I'm gonna make $200 no matter what. That's great. But I mean, those shows are it's very just business minded, just no you don't, there's not a soul of it, you know, there's
Mm.
not, people want to come here and they want to get rowdy. They want the chaos. They want the controlled chaos. And a lot of these bean counters that come in with all these billions of dollars are like, oh, well, this didn't work. Let's change the genre. They're trying to solve the problem from the bottom down when it's like, go to one of these shows and you tell me how much time would you spend here?
Yeah.
Like, would you have a good time coming to this bar? Go to these other bars. Like, that's really what I want to tell these guys. Like, go to the bars to see which one you have the most fun at, and you take notes
Yeah.
and be like, what are they doing? You know, like, I love walking into Kid Rocks and just seeing people on stage. Like, I got to play the main stage recently with a buddy of mine, Thomas, and just watching him and the guitar player. We got requested Freebird. They run down, get on the bar, and they're just dual guitar solos for Freebird.
Yeah.
That's great. That's what people come here to see. But if you're just telling you, it's like, stay on the stage, don't talk about tips, bam, 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 all this, like, no, like, that's not the vibe. Like, you can still, like, obviously you don't want to harass your constituents
Yeah.
about for money, but there's a difference between that and actually like being entertaining enough to where it doesn't have to be a thing.
Yeah.
We played with Annie and Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
They do the
Oh,
little like,
gosh.
hey, every dollar you throw in here, we'll speed it up.
Yeah.
That's a great gig, you know, because you're not asking $1,000 from people. You're just like, hey, every
Bits
dollar
like
we
that
get.
are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have people that challenge that. They're like, oh, well, here's $50, you know, and you're
Yeah.
like, speed it up, you know, like, and that's so much fun. It's
Yeah.
so much fun to do that. You can ask for that and like that be a part of the show without it being like, oh, I don't want to, you know, like,
Yeah.
without exhausting the customer with it,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that if, you know, whether you're mom and pop or big business or not, if that's your philosophy, it's like, listen, we just don't, obviously we want to prioritize the comfort of the customer, but we know you got to do your thing. And
Yeah.
we know you got to be entertaining. You got to earn that money. So you can talk about it, but maybe only do it once an hour or twice a show or something like that. That alone, then you're giving the front person a challenge. Now they have to, how can I get the most money out of these people with this 1 to 2 times I can talk about?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like, and then that's when they start doing the bits. That's when they start, you know, getting up on the bar and doing other stuff. Like, that's when it's fun, you know? And I don't think customers have a problem with that at all.
No,
you know?
they don't.
If they like you as a person, as a front person and as an act, they're not going to be upset with you being like, hey, we make money off of tips down here. We're going to go around with bucket, blah, blah, blah. You know, people get it, man. Like, and that's been any show I've been to, and a lot of this is when it comes to singer-songwriter nights, that it's a lot of that. I mean, it's like, you know, you got in here for free, man. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, we didn't charge you a cover. It's like, I don't think it's a crazy thing, you know, to do that. So,
Well, and I mean, just think about restaurants you've been to when you've had a server that's just fun to talk to,
Yeah.
and like he's not doing anything any other server wouldn't have done for you.
Mm-hmm.
But when he walks up, he's like, "Hey, man, what can I get you?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome. I love your shirt." Like,
Exactly.
you get to the end of your meal, and I'm like, "Dude, I want to give him like $50. I loved him. I want to be his friend."
Mm-hmm.
That's same thing for us. Like, if somebody's coming in and they're listening to you, and you're like, "Dude, I love your shirt. Is that? Are you from there? Is that your team?" Like, dude, how about that game yesterday? Holy shit! They love you now.
For
you
real.
have made a connection, and they will give you all their money.
For real.
They
will.
want to because they want to see you succeed.
Exactly.
And you didn't ask for $1.
Oh, yeah, for real, dude.
The
Well-
few times I've got to run the tip bucket,
Mhm.
I hold the bucket and I talk to people.
Yeah.
I don't say the first thing about $1.
Mhm.
I don't mention money at all. I walk up and I'll usually open with, "I love this part of the show because I get to take a break and talk to people.
Yeah.
Where are you
for
from?
real.
Why are you here? What are you doing? Is there what have you not heard today you want to hear?"
Yeah.
And if they request the song, we play the song. Like, I
Yeah.
don't tell the front that they didn't tip for it. I just say,
Yeah,
"Oh, hey, we
yeah.
got this request."
Well, it greases them up. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? Like, it gets them all like, once, like you said, if they like you, they're gonna feel like compelled. You know,
They
like,
want to.
Right.
yeah, even if it's like a couple of bucks, even if it's like,
Mhm.
all I have is $2, it's like, hey, you know, it's $2 more than we had before.
Right?
You know, so it's like, and if you get enough of that from enough people, it's fine. You know.
And Jera, I praise her all the time. I love the way she runs her show. But if there's people in the room and nobody is requesting, she'll pick a table and she'll be like, "Hey, where are you from?" "Baltimore." "What song do you want to listen to?" "Okay, we're going to do that song."
Yeah.
95% of the time after the song, they tip us $20
Yeah.
and then start requesting.
Yeah, it is. And I will say it is a risk, you know, doing that. But I mean, a lot of the times too, like the odds of you risking that. You know, like, yeah, they may not pay you now. They may just hear the song and walk out. That might be it. But I don't think I think that people have they have a fear of like if they keep doing that, then people will just continue to take advantage of them. And I think there are certain things you have to consider when thinking about that. Is like, well, one, you're not playing for the same people for a very long amount of time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you inevitably will have those people that'll just be like, oh, free music, great, whatever. But you will also inevitably have someone that comes in and is like, that was the best version of that song I heard. Here you go. And then you just drop me $100 bill
Well,
in there.
and the
like,
thing is, if
you know,
nobody's requesting,
yeah,
you're about to play a song for free anyway.
you know what? That's true.
So you might as well play a song they want to hear for free.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they will definitely like it's if they like you. You
Yeah.
know? Like last night I was playing Tin Roof with some people, and we all would prefer to defer to the rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but whenever I got called a song, like I was like, you know what? Let me just see if they like country. And every time I played a country song, a group of people got up and started dancing. And I'm like, well, man, like, well, now we know, you know, now we know where the vibe is at. So we still did our rock stuff and everything. And we actually did pretty well like that night. So it's like, but being open-minded enough to be like, all right, listen, obviously I would rather play Linkin Park right now, but these people are cool. And I just played Wagon Wheel and they just gave me $100, you know? So like,
Right.
so I was like, or they gave me even, you know, $10, you know, it's like, that's more money. And it's like, it goes back to that whole philosophy of like if you are of service to them, if you are up there trying to do, if you're up there for them and you make that obvious, then they're in the position where they have to like, all right, these people,
They'll be there for you.
yeah, exactly. Like, and they don't all have to. They don't all have to be there for you. You only need a certain amount of people. I can't tell you how many shows I've had where like we didn't have a packed room at all the entire night. And then we was like, we made $195 each.
Yeah.
But no, like nobody was here, you know, but
3 tables give you
exactly
$1,000 to split.
Exactly. But the people that were there, you were like, we like you guys, you know, like we want to help you. Like, what do you want to hear? Johnny Cash? Let's do some Johnny Cash. Let's just do it, you know, and like, and then before they leave, someone's like, hey, $50. Like, and that's it, you know? So it's a hard mindset because it's, you know, like, you're like, it's a risk. You're rolling the dice. And I'm sure if you do it enough, I'm sure there are shows where you don't get anything, but I would be willing to put money on like, you would have more shows playing for drunk people with money, the stuff that they wanted to hear first, over like trying to squeeze money out of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you would probably, you know,
And
do
as
a
you
lot
were
better.
saying, as a frontman, like the pressure's on you to make your band money. Because if you're not paying them, they're not coming back.
Exactly.
They gotta eat.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter how much they love you. If they're not making enough, they can't do it.
Exactly.
And so it's a lot of pressure. But I'll tell you what, I have been here for 9 years. I have played great shows. I have played horrible shows. Consistently, the percentage of my income that is tips versus base pay has been almost exact year over year.
Yeah.
So over the course of the year, it all averages out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do the job.
Yeah.
Be there for the crowd, do the job, and venues, trust the bands to do their job. If they're not doing the job, don't hire them.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you feel like you have to micromanage and be like, no more than 2 slow songs for every 2 hours or whatever, then you're not hiring the right people.
Yeah.
If you can't trust them to run the room, they're not the band.
Exactly.
And a case in point, TC sent out a text message like a week ago or something like, hey, we need to keep everything upbeat. Don't do a whole lot of slow songs, no more than a couple in a row, blah, blah, blah. Almost immediately, we get a show where everybody wants love ballads.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, fuck that. We're making money in slow season.
Yeah.
And they want 15 love ballads in a row and they love it. That's what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's what they need. That's what the bar needs.
Yeah.
You want people, that's what they want. They'll stay. They're drinking. You're making money. I'm making money. Why do we want to fuck that up?
I know, man. I really feel like, I mean, you could technically call a booker this role, or like that. This is what the role that they fill. But I really feel like being I could go to these corporate bars and just be like, I'm actually in a liaison between artists and their bars that they play for.
Mhm.
And I try to get the most out of each one. Like, obviously you have the money and the business acumen. These guys have the talent. I try to figure out, what does the talent need to succeed? And then I tell the business people, and then the business people makes that way for them. And then over a course of time, see how it goes. Like, oh, look at all these bar sales. We've
Mm.
only been playing slow songs this entire day. Like, whatever. It's like, yeah. So it wasn't the songs. It
No.
was the artist's ability to serve the audience.
Yeah.
And if you set them up to do that and don't tell them what to play, when to play, how much to talk about, all this stuff, like, I'm telling you, you're gonna make way more money, because like,
Yeah.
people are the audience is gonna feel that when
Mhm.
they feel that the artist, like when the artist is up there being comfortable enough being themselves, being able to stand on the bar or not, or just stay on the stage or whatever, but they're chopping it up and they're giving out a vibe like, I get to be myself, my truest version up here.
Mhm.
People will pick up on that. Anyone pick, like, and you don't need everyone. You just need enough.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Like, you might be in there one day, some rich dude's like, I love this band. Let's buy a round for everybody right now. I'd like to get whatever.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Man.
Some athlete comes in, some, NFL or MLB player comes in. It's like, this band rocks. Let's keep the party going. But it's like, if they don't get the chance to be that, because, well, we can't play slow songs. We just
Right.
told our boss told us we can't play slow songs.
Right.
It's like, it messes everybody up, So it is another principled lesson of getting your ego out of the way and actually being like, what works? Like, forget what I have learned in the past. What works for the bar? What I'm saying? Obviously, there's value in what I've learned, but there's also value in the people actually doing this, and their experience. It's like, how do we convert that experience into dollar signs and bottom line?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I think, any bar that does that, small mom and pop shops or big ones, anyone that's smart enough to do that, they're setting themselves up for long-term
Absolutely.
success.
Bottom line is, you don't hire a contractor and tell him not to use a hammer to help build your house.
What kind of hammer are you using?
Like, I heard wrenches were better. I don't want you to use a hammer.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Like,
What brand of tools you got? I was like,
you hire the band to entertain. If they
exactly.
don't do that, hire a different band.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is,
If
man.
the dishwasher ain't washing dishes, out the door.
Get a new dishwasher.
I mean, it's mind-numbingly simple.
Yeah. Dude, I remember playing some really rowdy shows at Luke Bryan's before the advent of those Fisher-Price kits that they used to have.
Sure, right.
I remember playing with Joe Barone one time, and dude, I've never seen it that rowdy since. Like, they had subs on each side of the stage. They had the full actual drum kit. And I remember us playing House Party, and me and the guitar player standing up on those subs, and there was no room in there at all. It was just like just going crazy. I'm like, this is when the bar makes the most money.
Yeah.
Not when some bean counter is like, you're playing too many slow songs. Like, what does he know? He doesn't. Has he played down here? Has he done this stuff? It's like, no. It's like, then why is he making these decisions on how I'm supposed to do my job?
Right.
Like, it's a legitimate question any business should ask themselves.
Absolutely.
So it's like, so I think, I'm hoping that with everyone coming down here, and I'm hoping that the community will be vocal enough to where, which I think, they don't have those drum kits anymore, do they?
Nope.
They don't.
And it was because of the community. It was the power of the community. And that one guy from, what was it, Rascal Flats or whatever? He made a big old post about it. He was like, hey, this is not what people come to this town for, And it's like, I think that we have a lot more power than I think people realize when we actually
absolutely
talk about what makes a good show. That's why I made the post on the Not So Lame the other day about where I made the most money. It's like, I've made the most money at the places at the bar. Let me do my job.
Yeah.
Like, that's hands down,
To date, out of the 9 years I've been here, the bar that I walked out with the most money, Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, dude, I love playing there, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Those gigs are so much fun. Like, it's just like the Redneck Riviera gigs. Like, they're just like, it makes me think of every small town bar I've ever played. And it's always, and a lot of times, even if it's not packed, the people there they make the vibe great.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be a fun show, like for the most part. Like, what was it, Big and Rich that started that bar?
Mhm.
They did it. they knew what was up. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a chain, but it's probably not. It's probably like one of the only ones they have. But like,
I legit don't know.
yeah,
But I know that that's where I've made the most money
yeah,
in
man.
one show in 9 years.
Dude, yeah, I do not doubt it, man. Like, just the community of people the kind of people that go in there and the clientele, like, it's usually very grateful, very gracious, and like, they just want to have fun,
Yeah.
you know, like, they're not looking for, you know, they're like, hey, let's play the hits, let's have a good time, you know, and
Mhm.
like, I love, that's a great vibe. So, you know, shout out to Bigger Rich for that.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
great ball. One of the more fun ones to play downtown. So.
I'm led to wonder for the new stadium, the new Titan Stadium, if we're going to see second or third locations of, you know, our favorite bars popping
Ooh.
up over there with a
Maybe.
stadium location and then sharing bands that go back and forth between, you know, the strip and then the stadium to
Yeah.
do, you know, a 4-hour shift, but before or during the game. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think it's in Foxborough, Patriots, their stadium, they do something similar.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah. So, and yeah, if I'm curious if that could happen at some point.
Maybe.
I've heard from people that work in the service industry that they're gonna try to make it like kind of like Wrigleyville in Chicago, where it's
Okay.
like that stadium is there's obviously the stadium, but there's a bunch of other stuff down there. And it might be like they're gonna try to make like another Broadway and it's gonna mess up Broadway. I'm like, no, I don't think it's
No,
gonna mess
yeah.
up Broadway. Like, I think that it will be the shiny new thing for a while. And
Oh,
everyone's
yeah.
gonna wanna
Just
go
like
see it.
everything else is.
Yes, but like these bars that came to town, everyone was convinced JBJ is gonna be the Kid Rock's killer. Man, they didn't order their first beer truck for like 2 months. And Kid Rock's got like 2 beer trucks every day coming in, man. So you know, like
Oh, yeah.
Steve's just like, I'm not scared of these people. Like, I've been doing
No.
this for so long, you know.
No.
It's like, so he like, and to this day, I mean, I'll go and I mean, I know it's not for everybody. Well, not everybody likes Kid Rock. I'll go there on my days off if I have friends that are just playing. I've sat in for PJ and the Strange every now and then on main stage, like their bass player Brandon. He's a really cool dude. But yeah, it's just like that bar gets it, man. Like they branded it right because it was Kid Rock's, and apparently like him and the owner know each other pretty well, and it's like Kid Rock's, I just want this to be a party. And Steve's like, done. It's going to be a party.
Yeah.
People are going to get on the bar. It's going to be something crazy. You know, it's going to be a spectacle. And you can't have that with a bunch of bean counters being like, you're playing too many slow songs. Why aren't you playing more country music? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, no, dude, I got paid to have fun here, you know? And like,
Right.
you got to trust me to do my job. I trust you to make sure I've got the money I need at the end of the shift. You just trust me to make everything else. You know,
Yeah.
and if that's the relationship between the bar and the artist, dude, that's going to attract the best artist. Inevitably, it will
Oh,
attract
yeah,
the best
absolutely.
artists. Like,
Well, I mean, I can't tell you how many people I know that are like dead set, I will not play the Tootsie Circuit. I will
Yeah.
not do it unless it's Kid Rock's main stage because I will make bank.
yeah.
It's like,
Well, I mean, you know, for me, I mean, I'd be like, you can do that if you want. But the only reason I got on main stage is because I play the circuit. Like,
oh, yeah.
that's the only reason is because I play like, you know, back room on a Tuesday or like HCC 3, 10 to 2 on a Wednesday. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I play those, you know, terrible spots. Yeah. And like, I make a little bit of money, but you want to know what? They know my face.
Mhm.
And there have been multiple times when something happens to the bass player and they're like, we need you on a main stage of some sort. And sometimes it's Kid Rock's main. And it's like, I make myself available, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and that's not to say too, I know some people, you hear about their experience with certain circuits and like, you kind of like, all right, well, I can understand why you don't do it. I'm not going to hold it
definitely.
against you, you
Definitely.
know, like, because everybody has their experiences and it's like, I get why that's why you've casted this way, you know, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is the bars that let the musicians do their job
Yep.
are the bars that normally get the most out of them. They not only get the most out of the bands, they get the best bands.
Absolutely.
I've never heard a terrible band on Kid Rock's main.
No.
Never heard.
No.
Like, and you never will. Because they farm on these other circuits. They see who's good and knows what
Right.
they're doing. And then once they are like, hey, can you do like 5-6 piece band? Yeah. Boom, you're there.
Right.
And like, you know, yeah, there the certain levels, it's just politics. Sometimes it's just people that the bookers like more. But you can't be terrible. You know,
No,
be on that
no.
stage.
Yeah,
You can't.
right.
And let's just be super realistic. There's not a venue that does everything right.
That's true.
There's not a venue that won't screw you over in some way, shape, or form.
100%.
And so just being like, oh, well, they're terrible. Well, they're all terrible to somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, obviously certain bars have that. They like, the mom and pop shops do it, of course. Yeah. But you know what? These corporate bars, their view overall is just like, it's all numbers.
Mhm.
And they will blame you. They will blame the artist for stuff that is completely out of their control.
Right.
You couldn't control whether or not what people are asking for. If they wanted a bunch of slow songs and stuff, you can't control that. But
No.
but corporate's gonna blame you for it.
Absolutely.
They're gonna blame you. They're gonna so they will hold you to an unfair standard simply because they're corporate people. Well, I went to so and so college. Where did you go to school? I was like, well, how much music have you actually played?
25 years of experience is where I went to school.
Yeah.
25 years at the school of hard knocks. But no, it's like you can't,
Hand on my sticks, be like, fine, then you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know so much about this. Why
right?
don't you do it? So yeah, it is. It's it's kind of cutting that. Like, obviously the bars have a certain things that they have to think about in their bottom line so they can keep paying musicians.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, think about, if the bars have the same mindset, we are of service to these people. We are here providing a service and we want to give them the best. Like that, if that's your mindset, then you can open up to like, all right, how do we do that? Who's on the stage the most? These musicians? Well, let's ask them. What do you need? If you could change something here, if you feel like you get more out of this crowd, what would you need to do that? And then,
honestly, if they didn't do a damn thing except ask the question,
yeah,
that would raise morale so much.
Oh yeah, for real. Well, that one right there, that's going to translate into money because then all these artists are going to feel like they're listened to.
Yeah.
And then once you actually start implementing it, implementing the information that you've gotten from them, and you start going to these shows and say, oh wow, everyone's having a way better time. It's like, that's long-term what you want.
Using Kid Rocks as the example, like, I'm not a huge fan of the Tootsie Circuit, but they do always have an amazing band and a packed house, and it's because the band wants to be there.
Yep.
If you are good to your bands, you will get the best bands.
Yep.
And if you have the best bands, people want to be there.
Oh, yeah.
That's branding 101.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, too, is like, another thing that a lot of these corporate bars don't think about is like, it is cool that they offer more money-wise to walk in, but some of these mom and pop shops don't have to worry about paying $100, $200 base because they know the band's going to earn their tips. If they let the band do what they want to do, you can get away with paying a band $50 each, but they can go and turn that into $150, $200 on their own just because they know how to run a show and ask for tips in a way that's not harassing the people, in a way that's actually like, like that fits with the vibe. And then that bar is saving money, Or
the flip side, they do start offering $250 to their band members. And it's like, oh, this mom and pop shop really cares about us. They're really paying us and they let us run our show.
Yeah.
I don't want to play anywhere else.
Exactly. That is true. That's kind of the caveat with like TC is like, they will give you more to walk in, but you can't talk about certain things on the mic. Can't talk about tips over the mic and everything like that. And they're like, why? It's like, because we're paying you. Like, we're paying you the money. But it's like, well, I could be making more getting a $50 base over here just because these front people know how to ask for tips in a way that doesn't deter the audience, and they know how to put on a show. Like, that's their main focus, is putting on a really great show.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's just, it's like when it's Friday night and you got a bunch of contractors coming back from a convention that are just like, have a bunch of cash and is ready to blow off steam. It's like, those are your clients, and it's
let them.
Yeah,
just let them.
Yeah, for real. So, and I think it is, it's whatever works for the bar. It would be freaking awesome walking in, being like, here's $200, go make the rest of your money. Like, that would be sick. But at the same, I see where the bars are also coming from too. It's like, I mean, but use that audience, man. Like, use that audience. Like that audience is why, or the people that walk in the bar, that's why you have bartenders. That's why you have security. That's why you have musicians. And if you can give them the best environment to where when they go back home, all they're talking about is your bar. It's like, man, we saw a guitar player. He got on the bar, played behind his head, blah, 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 all this stuff. They're going back home, showing videos to their friends and stuff, or posting on social media. It's like, that's what you want.
I mean, Tootsie's. That's why everybody wants to go to Tootsie's.
So yeah, man, it's so much fun.
If you walk through Tootsie's with nobody in there and thinking of it as just a bar.
Mm-hmm.
That place is disgusting. There is no reason to ever want to go in there.
Yeah.
But why do people? Because everybody knows it's a party. Everybody
Oh, yeah.
knows it's packed, that everybody's going to be there, that the bands are going to show out.
Yep.
They know what's going to happen, and they want that.
Yeah.
The rest of it doesn't matter at that point. Now, Jason Aldean's looks beautiful.
It really is. Like,
and if you are wearing a tie and you want to sit down for dinner, that's probably where you're going to go. But there's 12 of you and 12,000 of everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick your audience.
Exactly.
All that being said, I do want to take a quick minute so you can chat a little bit about what's going on with your band. Because we've talked about everything but. So what have you been up to? You mentioned music. What do you got going on?
So we're in the process right now. That's actually where I'm heading after that. We're practicing for our first studio day next week. We're going to be getting in there, and we're going to be working on, like 3 or 4 different singles. We're kind of pivoting a little bit style wise. Like, a lot of our stuff has been, I always tell people, like Kings of Leon, like 1975. Since we've been doing this Tin Roof run, like, I've kind of thought more about, like, well, this is the stage I'm on the most, and this is the opportunities I have the most to play like some of my original songs. Like, so let me try to write in the vibe that these guys kind of come here for. So, and that vibe has been a lot more like aggressive, a lot more kind of based off of the stuff, like a lot of Foo Fighters influence, like some Chevelle, that kind of thing. We've been doing 3 Days Grace more, which is going over
nice.
Really well. But yeah, like that more kind of, kind of hard, kind of rock, and it's been kind of cool, man. We wrote a song recently, or I wrote a song recently, I Am, which is probably the more aggressive one. That's kind of, I think it's going to be the next single, honestly. And it got a lot of when we've been playing it at Tin Roof, it's getting a lot of good reception. So I'm thinking that'll probably be the next single that we do. And we're going to go over some other stuff today. And we're going to kind of like pivot a little bit. I'm looking forward to it. I think, obviously you want to be true to yourself and kind of true to like the music that you want to do. But I think there's also something to be said about growth and being willing to change and still having that excitement to where, whether it is more kind of poppy, kind of ambient kind of stuff, or the more aggressive stuff, if at the end of it, you're like, that sounds good, that's someone you need to go with, even if it is something different.
Absolutely.
So I'm a big believer in like the growth and the sound changing and, what we've been doing. And I've always wanted, kind of a more, I love the melodic stuff and the well-produced things, but I just love walking into like a punk rock show somewhere, like maybe like 5 Spot. I remember a while back I saw this band called The Burps. I don't know if they're really active anymore, but they were just this 3-piece straight punk, just heavy distortion, just like, but melodic enough to where it was like very engaging and really fun for me to listen to individually. And I was like, that's cool. That's really, really fun. People want that aggression. I think now, when you look at everything that's going on in the world too, I think that people want that to cathartic, in that way. And like something a little bit more aggressive and something more like, like that just makes you, and I'm excited. So some of the stuff I've been working on recently, I'm going to give them a little bit of some more new stuff to kind of work on today as well. That kind of is more pivoted in that direction. And I'm looking forward to it. I think whatever, I'm looking forward to getting more rowdy, like bringing that rowdiness of the Tin Roof and Broadway circuit into my own shows. Like I want that when people walk in, they're just like, oh, like they like that. And I'm excited for it, man. Like we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be trying to invest in some PR for these. It's gonna be a very different thing. Very, very different kind of like business decisions that we're making. We're trying to go beyond just playing. We're trying to expand and see what the industry actually needs, and what we can do to kind of fill that need, and like how our style can kind of, cater to that. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I think, you're going to hear, this is the first time too, we've been running a 3-piece recently. I like usually have like 4, but the 3-piece I think is going to be at a very different dynamic. I've been trying to write more with the 3-piece in mind, not needing, less instruments and seeing how much power we can like generate just 3 of us,
Man,
Mhm.
you really can't beat a great power trio.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's got everything.
Yeah, I've always loved it in theory, but I never thought of myself of like, well, can I like I've always liked having 2 guitars on stage because you can get
Mhm.
more volume out of it, but I'm looking forward to putting myself in that creative space of like,
Yeah.
you have this, you have this, you have this. What are you gonna do? Well, they say in the cooking world, like less is more.
Mhm.
The less ingredients you have going on, and the less you got on the top end. It's like you really bring out and emphasize what's going on in the base ingredients.
Yeah.
And I think the same could be said about certain music.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
and I'm looking forward to applying that theory into Year Love's new material. So
I can't wait to hear it, man. I've
nice.
heard you play everything. So I know
Yeah,
whatever you decide to
yeah.
do is going to be great. So
Thank
I
you, man.
definitely can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online and listen to your stuff?
We are, if you check us out on Instagram at Year Love Official, that's where we'll be, that's where we do a lot of our stuff. Facebook as well. We're also on Spotify. Just type in Year Love, YEARLOVE. We have our both EPs, All the Grace in the World in Your Eyes, and oh man, what was it? The Loss of Love and Time. Both of those are up. But we're gonna be starting to put out singles here pretty soon. Some new, and it's gonna be different. And I'm looking forward to see like how people react to it.
Oh, absolutely.
It'll be fun. Just to kind of see how it hits. And once we get a new set list of this new direction, like I'm really looking forward to see just how the city reacts to it and everything. We're going to be playing more original shows too. We just started sending out emails to get original shows going in like March and April. So I'm going to try to play one in town and hopefully like I'm going to try to get like one out of town. Well, like whenever we do these tin roof runs,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it'll be fun. I'm gonna try to add that aspect into it as well, doing more stuff, original stuff on the road. And if you go to any of these tin roofs, like you're definitely gonna hear this songs like live. At some point we'll probably play a couple of them. And if you request them, we'll play them.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a timeline on maybe a release of the first single? Like, what are
we're
you
gonna
looking
we're
at?
gonna try to get something out in March or April. Like
Oh,
try
okay.
March
Yeah.
or
Heck
April
yeah.
here pretty soon, right before the summer. And like try to get moving on that and in the meantime too, like once we get the stuff finished, whether it's recorded or not, like we're definitely going to try to play it, and
Oh,
like
heck yeah.
I feel like, like, the tin roof is a good testing ground for a material. Like if you see how people react to it and it's like big, it's like, all right, that needs to be the next,
Yeah,
like,
right?
that needs to
Right.
be on the album or that needs to be the next single, something like that. So yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. So
I can't wait to hear
thanks.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I love the stuff you put. I've always loved you as a player.
Thank you,
I
man.
love that you stepped up and started doing your frontman
Mhm,
stuff. Like,
mhm.
you've always had the vibe, and you've always worked well with people. You coach great through stuff. You've
Mhm.
always helped me out when we've played together.
Thank you, man.
So definitely one of my favorites. I
Yeah.
never felt nervous or scared or that you were gonna get pissed I didn't know something.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just look at you, and be like, I'm watching you, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
cool, I got you. We'll figure it out.
I appreciate that,
So
man. Mhm.
always a pleasure. Brian, man,
Yeah.
tell
Yes.
everybody how to find you.
Sure, Brian Morelli Music, Morelli, Instagram and TikTok. And Kenny, thank you so much for being here
Oh, of
today.
course,
And
yeah.
uh,
Thanks for having me.
I also have to echo very similar experiences with you. I love playing with you,
Thank
and
you.
very excited for the original stuff to come out
Mhm.
too, because I knew you had a rock background. I knew it was going to be
Yeah.
all rock. I knew that, like,
Yeah.
I remember like the first few times playing with you, I was like, man, if this guy wrote stuff, I know I would love it.
Thank you.
I know I would be so into it.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited for Year Love and
Yeah.
to check that out. So
Thank you, guys. I appreciate. Thanks for having me. I think what y'all are doing here is so important, and I'm glad y'all are hitting this vein now because, like I said, we talked about it earlier. Within the next couple of years, this is just gonna. You're already moving up. The space
Right,
here is
right.
great. It's awesome. It's like I love seeing that. Like. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep finding these players, bringing them in, and
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
and just giving the world this information. Putting this information out there for people anywhere in BFE to come find this. Some kid out there is listening in a small town being like, so that's what it's like to be in that. Like they want this stuff.
Mhm.
This is very needed. So the fact that y'all have stepped up and you too, Mitch, being here, like seeing you added onto the team, like I love that. Like it's just it's just keep doing what you're doing. Like, and I'm looking forward to coming back again at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
It'll be great.
I feel like there's 50 other subjects that we need to talk about,
gosh,
man.
yes. And hopefully too, I mean, like that, and just like, just stories. I'll have some cool stories for you guys next time, It'll be great. It'll be great. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Of course,
Absolutely.
Kenny, thanks, man.
Guys, I am thrilled that this season is off to such a great start. Everything's looking great. It's so fun. If you want to reach out, we have the YouTube channel now. Nashville for Nobodies is on YouTube, where we have all of the videos that are going to be coming out. Man, I've put out like 4 reels in the last, or not reels, I guess they're YouTube shorts, in the last just like couple weeks. And we've already got like well on our way to a couple thousand views. And it's like, I've been doing TikTok bullshit for damn near ever and can't get past that 200 mark. So maybe YouTube's the shit,
maybe, yeah, dude.
But we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. If it's social, we're there. If you want to chat with me, I'm Story of Bob or Story of Bob Music, all the platforms as well. And thank you guys just so much for supporting the podcast and listening. And if you have questions, please reach out. If you want to be a guest, please reach out. We're always happy to take criticism, or tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, whatever. Just hang out and talk to us. It doesn't matter. Just let's chill, let's party, let's have fun, let's be friends.
For real. Just do it.
And we will see you next time.
See you.